both of them been instrumental as well in their wins so far in the playoffs.
Boy.
Yeah, I mean, basically, Peanut, you know, like, he's also really, like, everyone's saying, like, there's a lot of big game hunter, but Peanut is also one of the, like, strong up there, too. And it's like, Owner, like, also, he was really showing really strong in the play, like, entire playoff, too.
And I think particularly Owner and Carry as a duo, setting up plays and working together is just such a pleasure to see. I feel like as a jungle support duo, having good synergy there is so important. These two just on another level.
It's your boy King of 6 here.
Yeah, I mean, this Peanut, like, these type of the things, like, the clutch play, like, he brings...
like, happy Easter to everyone.
That he has, like, when
celebrates
actually
Easter.
Focus, like, at the like, short term, like,
I
he
went
shows,
to
like,
church
a lot
today.
better, especially these playoffs.
I think yesterday he absolutely had that game on Wukong, which he just
guess what? The LCK finals is on Easter.
From that game, managing to secure the smite.
This is Genji versus KT yesterday.
It was game 2 where he popped off. Normally it's game 3.
Wukong.
But throughout that series, had a really strong performance in stepping up.
Yeah, we can see here number 2 is going to be a focus on
the case is better than Guma you see at the
game enjoyer 80
as a
rookie,
just as a rookie.
I suppose in this case, the ultimate confidence Gumayusi,
of course, Guma. I think Guma's better right now.
To his own. We've been very surprised and.
We're talking about rookie when Guma was a rookie versus Pace was a rookie right now.
In some of these best of 5s and playoffs and really almost carry the team quite a lot.
Pace
up against Pace, seems to have some great confidence himself.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's kind of crazy.
I feel like we see a lot of Rakan.
Like, both are so young. Like,
it's basically so Rakan and Aphelios at Jinx right now.
0-5 and Guma is 0-2 at Warren. But the thing is, like, it's crazy. I can't believe, like, their consistency and, like, how can they actually focus, like, when they're this young? Because I couldn't do it when I was younger.
I think particularly for Genji as well, for Pays, a lot of people thought the loss of Ruler, the loss of the Hens, this could end up being a rebuild year for Genji. You know, over time they'd get better and better. Maybe not making the finals in spring.
Get better than Ruler.
Has shown that he is a hugely important piece of this Genji lineup and has really stepped into the shoes that were there before him.
Let's go, baby!
Yeah, it's great to see a lot of consistency out of a young player. So
I just want Doran to not feed.
You know, that could be one of the keys, right? Because you are going to be up against such a
don't
strong
let it
team.
be top gap.
You need to be ready for game
Please,
1
Sion,
through potentially 5 to
they're gonna
not
first pick
falter,
Jace
not
again.
get nervous, not really drop any level of your gameplay. Otherwise, you're probably just going to lose to that bottom lane of T1.
Yeah, and I think the support matchup is a big one. Carrier is in everyone's minds the #1. But I have to say, Delight has really been a positive force for Genji. I think in the series against KT, some Thresh moments were absolutely phenomenal, but he needs to be on his A game if he wants to keep up with Carrier.
Yeah, I mean, especially for Delight, like, thinking that during the playoff, like, people were, like, still, like, unsure, like, how he can actually perform against the T1. But the thing is, like, he actually played really, really well yesterday, especially against the KT series, which is, he even got POG at the game 3, which is this game, as you guys seen. Thresh play was absolutely, he was the game changer. He's the one that actually made Genji be able to come back. And
I don't see anyone banning Thresh this game.
Reminds me, like, old days of the MetLife hook. Like, that's how I feel.
And I feel like at the start of the split, we saw Carrier playing these like marksman support.
Like they are more important bans.
Didn't have as good a read on.
Which means he will be
back
open.
To these playmakers, these engaged champions. I think Delight, he's got his work cut out with it for him, but he has been showing a high level performance so far.
Yeah, Delight with some strong words for his matchup up against Carrier, kind of challenging him as he's stepping up to the plate. Everybody says Carrier is the best support, he's the best player. I'm going to show him that actually I'm the best support. I'm going to get in there. And, you know, a little glimpse from Game 3 was very nice to see from the Thresh, who does seem to be very strong and might be a key pick here. But let's talk about the key player matchup in this best of 5. We have to look immediately towards the mid lane for Faker versus Chovy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit obvious. I think it's like mid is absolutely really important, especially this meta as well. Like, as we see from even yesterday, like, it was like whoever win the lane phase or like whoever actually moved at the correct spot, correct time. Like, that's why the Chovy was actually better, was just showing especially yesterday KT series. But the thing is, like, Faker already know how to do it. Like, he's been doing that entire his career, but Chovy,
oh my God,
you know, he just learned, and that's gonna be, you know, really interesting point.
Yeah, and I mean, we look at the track record between them.
I
feel like a lot of players would probably have a similar track record when going up against Faker. He has been so dominant throughout his career. But there was that summer finals where they did manage to take down T1 pretty convincingly.
Faker looks like a doll here, man.
Repeat that today.
What's that makeup, bro?
Yeah, I mean, they were able to get a 3-0. I think that's
it's
a
so
really good
white
showing.
and the lips are
we
so
actually
red.
looked
Oh,
back
God.
at the predictions. It did seem like back in that year, just last year, like a lot of people were expecting Genji to take the throne, but
No.
it will be interesting to see some of the predictions a little bit later on. Not going to spoil anything here, but I think we all kind of get a feeling, an inkling of who might be the favorite team in this specify for sure.
Are you ready?
Definitely going to be a big one. Chovy, his timing yesterday was pretty much impeccable. He was a big part of the reason why his team was able to essentially crush KT yesterday. So I wouldn't be surprised if he can match Faker today. But guys, enough about the mid lane. Let's talk about our coaches and listen in.
Oh, you're watching
to their
Twitch, right?
here.
I go Twitch.
Oh, lol.
안녕하세요, 배혜지입니다.
Let me find
2023
a
LCK
Twitch
스프링
stream.
스플릿 결승전을 앞두고 있는 두 팀이죠. T1과
오,
젠지의
핫네.
양 팀의 감독님들과 인터뷰 나눠보도록 하겠습니다.
오케이,
먼저
로.
뱅기 감독님, 감독으로서는 LCK 첫 결승입니다. 감회가 남다를 것 같은데 기분이 어떠신가요?
Yeah, interview what?
사실 감독으로서
인터뷰.
每次讲一样东西的。
전 자체는
Always say the same
와봤기
shit
때문에
interview what?
긴장하지 않고 잘 하면 괜찮을 것
I
같아요.
want to see the trash talk. if that
Trash talk is ass.
刀は技を支え匠は宝を有す
another battle of the
오늘의 승부처는
lane.
어디일지 궁금한데요. 먼저 뱅기 감독님.
상체는
뱅기.
처음이 결승전이기 때문에 조금 긴장을 많이 할 것 같고 그런 점에서
It's jungle div.
오, 좋습니다. T1 감독님
The-
이렇게
when I
말씀하셨는데
see
그러면
the-
젠지 감독님은
Yeah,
어떤
jungle
점을
div,
아유.
보고 계실까요?
Oh,
you,
it's a final.
you know the owner what Genji will
Owner's
win
the correct
KT.
dude. Owner is correct. Everyone is wrong.
미드라이너인 저희
It's like what the fuck? What is that prediction?
충분히 이길 수 있다고 생각합니다.
It's the
T1의
final.
LCK
Hello,
11번째 우승이
Cleemain.
걸려
Hello,
있는 오늘의 결승전입니다. 각오
Marine
한번
X Noel, Sayaka, Ayaka, and
앞서
Sakura.
말해주셨듯이 스프링에서 결승전 올라갔을 때
Wait, Marine X Noel is the. Hold up.
깨지 않도록 하겠습니다.
오, 좋습니다. 자, 그렇다면 스코어 감독님, 디펜딩 챔피언이잖아요.
The third gen
그래서
Hololivers.
우승컵을 지키기 위한 각오 한 말씀 들어보겠습니다.
Who are you talking?
저희가 디펜딩 챔피언이긴 하지만 이제
Yeah, I have a chat.
사실 어제
Guy in chat.
경기에서조차 사실 기대를
아니.
Must talk with chat, you know, or else no one talk with chat.
저희가 기대를 오늘도 많이
Ah shit, I forgot to do the ley line
기대를
mission.
상황 속에서도 결승전까지 왔기 때문에 오늘은 꼭 또 이기도록 하겠습니다.
네, 지금까지 T1의 뱅기 감독님 그리고 젠지의 스코어 감독님과 인터뷰
I
나눠봤습니다.
feel like Genji got no shot to win.
For various different reasons, either the defending champions from 2022, or you're a team that's won 6 out of 6 spring grand
Jungle
finals that
is-
have been in. So,
I don't know why
pretty
KT fed
big match of the Titans, you could say, in this
peanut
one.
so
And I
hard.
think it's about time
Did
that
you
we
watch
get
the
into
games?
predictions. So, for myself, going
I
here as
watched-
the host,
I
will
watched a
say
bit only.
3-0 for T1. That is the one that I
Like-
can go for here. I am not the
The
only
Fat
one.
Wukong-
Out of all the
Fat
talents here
Wukong
that
is
I
scary,
want in this
actually.
prediction, I just feel like T1 has showcased that they are kind of on a different level.
And
And
the on
played
give
well yesterday. I think
give
KT kind of
Peanut the first.
underperformed and
Yeah,
took advantage
yeah,
of
he
that.
upgrade the
T1
item,
was
He didn't even give the
in
ADC,
playoffs,
give-
T1 kinda
give
dominating Genji,
Wukong
Genji
first.
getting that one win with Peanut
You know
getting the
he's the
really
carry,
clutch
man.
engage. I think this time T1 will be a little bit more solid and they will get the 3-0.
Yeah,
What do you
whereas
think?
me, I'm much more favored towards Genji because I think they'll get a whole game. But still do want T1. I still think it's T1 favored. I do think that Genji has shown
Disgusting.
that bot lane
No
is
one has
confident
faith.
despite being on a big stage. I just still don't think it's enough.
Nah,
to
I
take
also
down
think
the
it's
Titans.
I think I'm gonna 3-0. I think 3-0.
T1 3-1 because of the reason why.
T1
like,
is
if you
so
wanna be
safe.
3-0,
So
you have
safe.
to be like much better. Like you
What,
have to
like-
be really, really good. You have to be every single
I think
play
it's
to be
3-1,
safe.
man. I
The
don't
thing is,
know.
like, I think T1
3-1
took a lot of
is-
these tape from the KT series.
Oh,
to
it's the
Genji
safe
series.
bet.
That's how I feel. And
It's
also, I think
very safe.
Like, I think there's the chance that
I think
Genji
everyone
will
think it's
get
3-1.
like at least one game.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll
I think
pick
it could
3-0.
happen, you know,
I pick 3-0.
Tina gets another big engage
Wow.
or a pace
3-0
confident.
I'm very confident, I tell you.
Absolutely could happen. It really just depends on the form on the day. But guys, we do have some special other guests from around the globe who have put their input in. Let's hear from some of the guys over at the LEC.
I don't know if I'm live,
What
but
they
Twitch
think
is
about the
automatic. Go to the
No,
most
the
live.
kept talking though.
Caps. I'm looking at Mickey X right now. Wait, what?
I definitely think T1 will
Oh,
take
Caps.
it. I think they just looked the strongest. Even if they didn't have the best series against KT, they
Because
still won in the end.
They will
I'm sure they'll look
they will
even
face
better in the final.
MSI
I
already.
definitely
Man.
think they will take it and
Ah,
go
Cap-
through.
they won the
MSI
LEC
as
already.
The first seed from LCK. And I'm definitely looking forward to facing them as well. It's always fun to play against T1, playing against Vega. Always a fun matchup, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Law
In my mind,
Records say
T1 is the favorite.
Gumayushi
I
is
think
next
that's probably
next
everyone's
level.
mind. But I just feel like when I watch their games, and I especially watch Gumayushi's games, that he is just next level, and he's kind of been next level throughout the entirety of the season, together with Keria. So to me, that bot lane strength is just gonna have too much weight.
Records keep
I
looking
think
like a
the
Viking.
prediction between Genji and SKT for me is that SKT will take it home. I think they're the best team in Korea right now, and they have a
Wait, all
probably
the
best,
Western
bot lane in the
Western
world.
team already
Also,
decided for
Keria is,
MSI.
I think the best support in the world. So I think I think they'll take it home, and
Oh, very
yeah.
good.
Gen... no, they won't. I think T1 will win.
Law.
Faker!
Well, there you have it. Everybody
Wow.
voting for T1 over.
Everyone's T1. Got anyone say Genji? I didn't hear.
No. Everybody is say T1.
Lamau.
I feel like everyone is feeling T1 are favored, but you know, we've seen upsets before. We've seen miracle stories like DRX at Last World, so I think it's T1 favored, but there's still a chance.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the same thing, like as what the score said, like which is like I think not
T1
many
will
there's
win
not
because
not
top
gonna
and
be like a lot of
jungle get-
expectations or favor for Genji, but the thing
Because
is
top
like I
lane,
think
the
they've been making
Doran
upset. They've been
not
making like
very
good,
pussy.
really good
Pussy to
play,
fight
and they've
you.
shown really strong. I feel like also
Don't
the
want to see a
expectation
D. It's gonna be
because
top.
they more so that's why the expectation was a little bit wrong.
I think
but the thing
Genji
is, like,
ADC
at
is
least
their
the pace and
best
skill, like, I think
player,
they're
right?
stepping
I mean
really,
their
really
best lane.
They really have.
Yeah.
I think that,
So, support
as I
lane
said
will be
before, it's really
even,
about form on the
If
day.
Guma
right?
you
So
see and
if
Carrier
you
lose
are
is
playing
okay
at your
one,
best
actually.
as pace and you are
They
playing
lose
at your
lane is
best
fine.
as Delight,
They still have
they have a
top
chance.
and
They
jungle.
absolutely do. You never know what's going to happen. The Faker Chovy matchup we talked about, the top lanes or the top side of the map, very strong for both of these teams. So never really
Every
know
lane
what's going to
need to
happen,
carry
guys.
them.
But we do have this grand finals about to hit us right now. Let us jump straight into the opening ceremony right now.
Oh, will there be the singer? The sing the what?
I don't think so.
I thought it's the name. You know the LCK song did for this spring.
Got me? I don't know.
And we'll never give again.
What the fuck?
the K-pop singer.
I don't know. 7, 6, 5.
Oh, shit,
Oh, I want to see their entrance on it.
I'm behind 3 seconds. But
Is your internet slow lah? Oh shit!
what? Oh, they come out.
Oh,
Oh my god.
oh my god!
I think got singer lah.
Oh, Genji won the last year.
Summer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Zeri abuser.
Someone is.
Down one. Where is Ghost? Ghost was the carry. Ghost was the carry.
작년에도 우승을 많이
Oh my god, Griffin. Fuck.
돼서 좀 아쉬운 부분이.
Hey, Griffin got win before me?
I think got one. Oh my god, 2015, 2014.
Faker hair not curly anymore.
2013. Woo! 2012. 10 years already. Oh.
This 10-year anniversary?
Yeah, 10.
챌린저스 우승컵이죠. 또 LCK에 진입했습니다.
습니다.
얘들아, 나 심장이 너무 빨리 뛰어. 야, 앞에서. 그리고 바로 들어! 얘들아, 고생했다.
진에. Oh wait,
What is Jin?
where is my boy?
Teddy.
Where is my
Oh
boy?
shit.
It's time!
세레모니 맛집이에요.
아,
이미지 8강전 생각나게 해줄게.
색깔. Oh my god.
Oh my. Oh, this moment.
멋진 경기력으로 경기
우와.
시즌을 마무리했습니다. 야, 결국에 T1이 결승 진출 확정.
That faker face.
Carrier holding
Holy.
the rose. I mean, Faker holding the rose. Okay, the singer is here. Can't wait.
Wow, the shadow so ngam ah. The
Whoa.
fan. Oh.
We are from the angle.
Peanut and faker.
Ah, what peanut? What?
I-
Where is cha? Chove.
Yeah, because last game Peanut carry ma. Oh wow. So purple.
This purple guy. Oh, singing starts now.
Oh T1.
Boo! Where's the K-pop star? Where? No money.
Where the entrance?
Where is Jungkook or somebody?
Oh, the cup, the trophy.
Is it made of silver?
I think it's silver on.
It's silver one.
For fuck's sake. My god, the Twitch view is like almost 80,000.
AR final, huh? Oh, is this AR?
Oh, they come out.
Oh.
Just walk out only.
Oh, drums! Yes! Drums. Where's the drummer? Where is he? Where's the drummer? Huh? Where's the drummer? Where you at the drum remix? Where the band? Huh?
The carrier face. I'm gonna kill you.
From the biggest star.
Oh, the what the MC.
Sasageyo. It's that boy.
It's always this MC, but
This boy.
haven't changed.
Yeah, this guy
before.
very game, huh? Why change for what?
Yeah.
오리진 어게인.
Let me restart.
And now it's introduction. I wasting time.
먼저 돌고 돌아 다시 이 무대에 섭니다. T1 나와! 작년 서머
They already got subtitles,
기억나게
so it's already scripted, man.
동시에
Yeah.
우리의
Feels bad.
타이틀을 지켜낸다. 디펜딩 챔피언
짠짠. Yo, master lah.
Salah.
이에 맞서는 그런데 이 팀을 말로 어떻게 표현해야 할지 이럴 땐 그냥
T1 until now never lose yet, right? Only the one loss.
결승
I
진출
think,
횟수 4
Yeah.
총 결승 진출 횟수 14 우승
신사.
횟수 10 그중 스프링 결승 진출 횟수 6 거기에 패한 횟수 0
0
진짜.
이거 당연히
아니요.
LCK U1 팀명에도 1 오늘 그 역사적 1획 기대하시라. LCK의 압도적 1황 T1 아니 T
Genji like what the fuck?
Look at the crowd.
Hey, Guma Yusi's signature look nice.
Yeah.
Carrier one look like a 5-year-old draw one. What the fuck?
과연 젠지가 2연속 우승을 통해 그들의 타이틀을 지켜낼 수 있을 것인지 아니면 T1이 작년 썸머의 서력을 통해 11번 우승의 근자탑을 만들어낼 수 있을 것인지 Let the finals begin. 2023 우리은행과 함께하는 LCK 스프링 스플릿 대망의 그랜드 파이널을 함께해 주신 많은 여러분의 뜨거운 환호 함성과 함께 지금부터 시작!
Are you ready to rumble?
하겠습니다.
I want to finally see the Gragas versus Cassandre. Haven't happened yet. I mean, Faker punya Gragas.
Oh, Faker punya Gragas.
Okay, every game T1 will ban Zeri first, and then I think Genji will ban Lucian every game also. Ayo,
Yeah,
what's
I
this? It's that boy.
What?
선수 시절이나 감독인 지금이나
Thank you.
래퍼에
I
대한
know this
수많은
song.
질문을 받을 때마다 제 대답은
I also
항상
know this song.
유승이었습니다.
이번 시즌 처음 시작할 때부터 결승전만 바라보고 여기까지 왔습니다.
Score.
다시 만난 만큼 제대로 보여줘야죠.
Like gangster.
이 자리에 서기까지 정말 많은 우여곡절이 있었는데 한번 붙어봐서 이제는 어떻게 상대해야 될지 감이 오고 이번에는 그 실수들을
What's the
반복하지 않을
Overwatch team?
겁니다.
Seal Tigers.
좀 설레고 부담감도
Yeah,
어느
yeah,
정도
the-
있지만 좋은 팀원들과
I forgot what name, but it's also a tiger.
Take the horse.
최근 대회에서 아쉽게 우승컵을 놓치다 보니까 우승컵을 드는 그 기분이 그립더라고요.
Why so many roles?
팬분들도 T1의 우승에 목말라 있다는 걸 느끼고요.
Who call you?
지금 출발할 시간이야.
Oh.
저희가 더 단단해진 만큼 이번엔 꼭 우승하겠습니다.
주연과 조연이 항상 정해져 있는 스토리는 뻔하고 재미없잖아요. 주연을 젠지로 한번 바꿔보겠습니다.
Who say this kind of cringe things?
T1이 지금
没有办法了，
약점
他们要
없는
讲
팀이긴
了。
하지만
Who invite this?
제가 생각하기엔 세상에
All these
절대라는
paid
건
actors.
없어서 오늘만큼은 저희가 이겨보도록 하겠습니다.
T1은 상대팀이 알고도 당할 수밖에 없는 팀이라고 생각해요.
I remember this.
우승하고 파인까지 받아서
Oh my
왜
god.
최고의 선수가
What was that
키라인지
game?
또 한번 보여드리겠습니다.
The fight, they fight KT ah. That
I remember.
긴장은 되지만
the fight.
재밌을 것 같아요.
Rakan lah.
Area like I'll beat everyone.
바텀은 뭐
Hey,
상대가
pace.
재미가 없을 것 같아요. 상대가 너무 못해서. 디펜딩 챔피언이 누군지 잊지 마세요.
저희는 이번 시즌에 젠지한테 진 적이 없습니다.
그래서
최고의
세리라
선수가 있는
하여.
곳은 T1이니까.
우승도 좋지만 결승에서 T1을 이기는 게 저한테는 더 재미있거든요. 제대로 꺾어주고 싶습니다.
(10년) 동안 페이커라는 이름으로 10개의 트로피를 가져오기까지 힘들고 어려운 순간들도 있었지만 그때마다 초심을 잃지 말자고 다짐했습니다. 팬분들과 함께 다시 처음부터 시작한다는 마음으로 이번에도 트로피를 가져오겠습니다. 저는 결코 흔들리지 않습니다.
꺾어줄게. 이젠 젠지가 기상할 차례.
Akatsuki.
Oh.
What? Every time they got a good team lah. Actually, yeah, LCK Summer, see what they do different. Yeah, people like buying clothes outside.
What?
So you can buy the T-shirt of the favorite player outside.
It is time for the LCK 2023 Spring Grand Final to begin. Welcome to the Casting Desk. I'm
Finally.
Atlas. I'm joined by both Chronicler
Ay, balita, I
and
got
Wolf
go
here.
up eh.
as we
Around
look to
4.
start this one up, this best of
Yep,
5
fine.
between T1 and Genji. Who could have seen it coming, gentlemen?
Well, you know, not us.
I see the
only
first and
chroniclers
second
saw it
game
coming. A
enough
lot of
lah.
us were thinking KT was going to win the match yesterday, and Genji coming off the momentum of a best-of-5 victory going
They
into this
already know
finals,
the
they're
result.
absolutely, as the underdog.
I no need
However,
to
they
see
are the
it.
defending champions, so maybe with an upset win tonight, they can get the back-to-back.
And what I think is big is that Genji played right here. Same stage where they were yesterday, where they got a decisive win against KT. And they need all the help they can get. We very clearly established that if there is a favorite, it is T1. But maybe all those factors can help and make this a sick best-of-5.
Absolutely, and it was this exact stage
bow tie,
that T1 took down both Chovy and Doran in the 2019 final as well. And I don't think I need to remind anyone, or maybe I do need to remind them of what the outcome of that one was, because it was very fast, and it was a 3-0. Let's have a look at some of the predictions here and see whether there's any gold mixed in with this red, because I don't know whether there will be. Jonah Strong, okay.
Of course.
Just Jonah Strong
Notice a few
Wait, so many 3-0 that they put.
Valdez and Atlas going for that one. Everyone else on our team going for the safer 3-1 prediction, expecting that there will be one game dropped here. But it's no surprise
Must have
that the
confidence,
vote
you know,
here is
like
so
me,
heavily in favor of T1. If you
Okay,
the
lol.
summer season that
I know I'm
Genji took,
confused.
it was
Just-
all
just for
gold,
fun
all
only.
Genji votes. And it's the better
Yeah,
lead
Jonah
that Genji
Strong,
had
what
on
the
that
fuck?
summer meta that made them the favorites. Tonight, it's better form for T1 across the season. The meta they developed that Genji is still catching up on.
A year ago, Jonah Strong predicted a 3-0 in spring, which we all know how that final went.
Yep.
Was a 3-0, and I think he's relented. And if Jonah Strong is doubting, that says a lot here. T1 has been in such amazing form, have beaten them so many times as, yes, that is that is a prediction right there.
Yeah, that's a T1 fan prediction right there. And to be perfectly honest, despite the predictions from any of us here at the LCK, we know that the fans are definitely going to be behind T1. It's an uphill battle for Gen.G here, but there's one thing that I can't help but think about when I think of Gen.G in this final, and it's FaZe has the chance to pave that golden road. That dream is still alive, and before it officially dies, I'm going to stay excited about it, because I think this is what Gen.G fans can really hold out for, because this is a massive talent that is blossoming here in the LCK this season, and I can't wait to see what he does in the future, regardless of the outcome of this match. But if he wins, if he does it, oh my goodness.
His name will go down in history forever as a Royal Roader. And for those who don't know what that means, it is to win a Korean championship in your first season participating in said league. This is his first season, and tonight's the last chance he'll have to be a Royal Roader. He has played only a few best-of-5s. This will be his 4th to play in the LCK. He's playing against Faker, who you could argue has played 30 best-of-5s across his career. If you consider the Easy Hoon series, you could say 29, but still, it's an overwhelming amount, 10 times more the experience nearly.
And what's really cool to me is that if FaZe does end up winning, which again, we're prefacing this because T1 is very, very heavily expected to take Gen.G down today. FaZe will be the second youngest player ever to win an LCK title, because even if he does win today, the most young will be Faker. So there is so much riding on it. Would be an incredible story here, but Guma and Carrier have looked so incredibly good. And even with the glow-up that I think Delight in particular has had, Delight turned into an amazing support. But he's up against Carrier.
Yeah.
And that's just not fair.
Yeah. And how fitting of a story would it be for Delight and FaZe to really, in their first LCK finals, defeat the best duo lane in the LCK, #1 in AD carry, Gumayusi, #1 in support, and the spring MVP Carrier in a best-of-5 after being the underdogs in that losers final yesterday. It is just something that is impossible to imagine nearly.
Yeah.
But if it does happen, we'll witness it here today, and you guys all watching this, we're here to see it live.
T1 will select the blue side here for game #1. They did have side selection. This has been a bit of a hot topic between us. I don't personally know which side is necessarily stronger. I feel like T1 has more capability on the red side, but we've seen some beautiful blue side drafts. And here we are into pick and ban for game #1. of the 2023 Spring Grand Final. T1 will
they
ban
banned
away
Zeri
Zeri.
already.
As is
already.
the
Yeah, they bit.
I know T1 will ban Zeri every game.
Zeri or the Varus are going to see the Rift here today. The Lucian, an interesting one because that is a pick that against most other teams has dropped from the ban list, but T1, we know how good Guma and Carry are at it, but they will still be respected. The same for the Cassante, so Varus is still open here. Do note Sejuani, another pick that is extremely high priority. Expect to see one of those two BB1 there, but that Cassante Genji showed even yesterday how good, but no!
And
What?
oh, I love this.
Oh,
because this is not only
a
good first pick for T1, but it is
Doran
also exactly what Genji lost on in their game 1 just yesterday. And it was first pick.
And this is the Jace that you are going to guarantee yourself top prio with as T1, as the best top laner in the LCK. Prioritizing this early means you're going to at least have guaranteed control here. What you lose potentially is a Sejuani pick, but because Genji will actually lock both the Xayah and Rakan in here to make sure that duo is not denied, T1 will also now have the opportunity to have Sejuani and Varus. So you have great poke here, you have long range engage, and amazing follow-up with the Varus ultimate. And Peanut's going back to the Wukong into this matchup.
And while Genji has a very strong team fighting core, Wukong and Rakan, we've seen how efficient this pace is on comfort already. T1 has so much range with Jace and Varus going on hit, which Guma has done with great efficiency. The poke from those two champions means that a lot of pressure is going to be on Genji, where for T1, they can just fish for poke, for a Varus ultimate, or owner with now the Sejuani available as well. Try and go for a single pick. And if it doesn't work out, you can just back off and keep on poking. There's the Malphite ban. Even though Doran has strength into the Jace, still a very strong pick, so I like the respect.
And let's see if Chovy's going to play the LeBlanc here. The Ahri is available, and he does not have the Vi. And the Lissandra ban was leading towards one of those two picks. It will be the Ahri here, so they have not a lot of range, but they have really good engage. And the ability to pick off these squishy targets in the backline, and Genji's composition is amazing. But one of the biggest ways to shut it down is the Veigar.
Wow, and Veigar actually, often we see Ahri picked into it. We've seen
Veigar
win these matchups many times. So not necessarily a counter pick at all. Carrier thinking about cooking. We'll see what he is going to go for. Can't actually be a chef, unfortunately, because Tom Kench has been banned away.
Carrier support. I mean Carrier Kalista support. No, please don't do that.
The engage going to be available here as he locks down the Nautilus.
And if this was a few weeks ago, pre all the nerfs, this would 100% be Kalista, Caitlyn, Carrier said, I just want to play Nautilus. I'm playing these things because they're the best. After the rounds of nerfs, having a great sense of engage is really strong. The Gragasira I like, very strong into the Jace. We know Doran is good in it. But with that Veigar locking in particular, the biggest goal for Genji with this comp is try and hard engage. You're playing into a Veigar that makes that so much harder, so I really like what T1 have drafted here. I think T1 has, or Genji rather, has a very strong team comp, very well rounded, but actually executing it when T1 is on form and is expected to win both bot and top lane quite handily can be rough.
I think with no prio here for Genji, it's going to be a very difficult game to play out. And while we did see Doran absorb the key Veigar yesterday on the Gragas pick, and we saw rolls off from mid, from Chovy, we did see Peanut put that focus there topside. They turned what was a weak point into a pressure point. T1 is not a team that will make those mistakes and fall into those traps. T1 will sit on their prio, grab early objectives in gold, and they'll outplay you in cross maps even in the early game. And drafting for team fight against a team that will always have the leads in the mid game is such a terrifying prospect, but it's what Genji's opted into for this red side game 1 draft.
Yeah, Bengi going on a little bit of a journey before finally bowing to score. Two absolute veterans and legends here of the LCK now facing off as coaches as well. And I agree with you guys with the assessment of these two drafts. I think if we had have seen this T1 draft yesterday in the hands of KT, we would have been nervous. But looking at it in the hands of T1, I am not nervous at all. I'm in fact a little bit anxious for Genji on the other side because they've got exactly what they want, but they have to weather a storm. And that storm is now coming from T1, and I don't think anyone's ready for that.
젠지.
Boy.
Wow.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the
Like
Rift for game
cheerleader.
number 1. The grand final, the first grand final that we've had here in the LCK, because we
Better
finally got a lower bracket,
not
so
be
I get
top
to
yet.
say grand final. I always say it. I always say grand final, but it's never been correct.
It's been grand every time.
It has been grand. It has been a grand final, used as an adjective, but it hasn't actually been a grand final, you know, the noun.
Technically correct is the best kind of correct, Atlas.
I
so
think, yeah,
now
I
you
guess.
finally are.
It's both types
you
of
can
grands.
claim that.
Yeah.
Now it's both types of grands, and it's 2 types are better than 1.
Yeah.
And
very happy about that. And let's see how this early game is going to go, gentlemen, because I feel like T1 should have some advantages around this Rift. I want to be able to talk about this as being close, but it's hard.
So the one thing that people are probably focusing on in terms of the runes here is going to be Gumayusi,
gonna
right? He
steal
obviously
the
is not
blue?
going to be going into
Oh
the
my God, I saw
lethality
it.
variant
I
with
saw it.
Comet with the support that he has
Oh
opted
my
into
God,
here in the
Wukong
Nautilus. So
gonna
it is going to
fuck.
be more auto-attacking on hit as
God,
Zeus is
dude.
going to come over here at level 1 and push Peanut out. Nice attempt here from Peanut to start the vertical jungle, but he will be denied. And this is actually really going
he's
to hurt
still
his early
going.
game. They're slowing him down quite significantly. Now Owner's coming up.
Oh, what?
Yeah, level advantage.
Can he hit level 2 in time? Owner's on his way.
Yeah, Owner is going to be able to see this as, all right, Peanut going to be able to take that one away. So hits level 2, makes it over the wall. That's a flash from Owner, though. The flash to follow from Peanut as he looks to try and escape.
no.
He's just going to put him into the cage. I don't know whether he'll have the W available as he's just going to stand still. Oh no, Peanut, and that is first blood. Faker picks it up, and it's already going on for Genji.
Great plan here from Peanut, but you get scouted out, and then you get punished. And
I
Faker's
don't
over there, has
understand why
the
he's
gauge
still
at level
going
2,
back.
and Owner's over there with red buff.
Still
You're able to
wonder.
secure the level 2, but you're not able to escape. And
Oh
then red
my
buff taking
God.
through the flash to guarantee permafrost. Faker has just enough time to come over, and a disastrous start here for the jungle for Genji.
And at first,
That
when
was
Peanut
quick,
was
though.
spamming his penguin, we might think, does he
Yeah.
know there's a ward? Clearly knew that he would be targeted here, or is just spamming penguins all the time, which is kind of his MO. But by being spotted is bad, but is recoverable from. But by his decision to then go back, try to get wolves, is what really cost him, because this early on especially is hold up.
Yeah, engage and counter-engage is already. Carrier's lit on fire. Pays trying to fight back, but a 1 trade here for T1 if you're talking about 80 carry health bars.
And yeah, as we were saying, as the bot lane trading, very aggressive. If Peanut just goes to
Peanut
his red
keep
buff, he's behind, but it's
baiting,
salvageable. But with him dying,
Oh,
giving
no,
over an early
no.
kill to Veigar, the troubles are already starting. And Doran,
Kingdom.
Speaking of troubles,
might be in trouble here as well.
Yep, that's Owner rewarding his top laner for scouting out his jungle. And we'll see, Winter's Wrath is going to go wide, but there's the flash. Permafrost is in, and T1.
Oh my God.
Doran.
Oh!
He gets the
Fake
solo kill on
boy!
V2.
and Doran does it again. And I said right before
What
this, you put
the-
Doran on the Gragas, and he's going to be a hard rock at the top lane, but T1 aren't
No,
going to
his
opt into this.
passive
They
come
won't
up
make it.
already,
On my bingo card, Wolf.
And it looked good because
The
Zeus
healing,
actually
man.
goes into melee form. The body block comes through, the body slam from Doran, but he's got the range damage
nice
follow-up.
flash by
But Doran
Doran.
plays it so well, gets that second stun, and turns this around. And suddenly, his top lane is a bit of a hole here for T1.
And that's very important, because if Genji would have also lost their top laner, Doran is put into a deficit, Zeus
Yeah,
starts
maman
snowballing.
line.
I think the game very quickly becomes nigh unplayable. We know how good T1 is at pushing leads, but with Doran outplaying the 1v2, Zeus making a crucial mistake, overstepping, dying with his flash up as well. What we see instead is a top lane matchup where Doran, for all his faults, if he does get a lead, generally he's able to hold on to it very, very nicely. And right here,
Look at this, the body slam blocks him for the melee, but he's still got, of course, the transform to come over here and do the additional damage. Doran waits till the last possible second, flashes here, and then as the damage is trying to come through here, he gets the extra body slam, and just a miscalculation there on the cooldown of body slam.
It was exactly the time it came off cooldown as well. Like, that was very close.
perfect cookie timing as well. Shout out to him for that.
Yeah.
And he didn't have W, right? He went for 2 points in Q. So normally he would have had a little bit more health, could have used the resistance and maybe not taken quite as much. But I think that it actually helped him out, because Zeus saw that health bar, was like, hey, I can pick this up for free, and got promptly punished, meaning that Doran gonna be feeling a little bit better than he otherwise would. Zeus, though, also need to not overstate. He picked up Cole, went back, he had to use his teleport, and will still be in a decent spot. But if that keeps happening, if Doran finds more outplays, and we saw yesterday how well Genji played out his Gragas, T1 might be in trouble.
Yeah, an early game kill for Gragas isn't going to be lane changing. It's not going to guarantee him prio. But consider that we were going into this playoffs just in general saying Doran is going to struggle when he faces off against two players. Zeus and Keen, the two above him, of course, in All-Pro for top. And he's really delivered here at the end of yesterday's series and now in the first game, just being the one who's going to soak that pressure extremely well. We said he does it against most laners, but he will fail against Zeus and Keen. At the end of the series yesterday, he did not. And it is definitely a good look for Doran in this first game.
And this is actually going to bring up a conversation that we were kind of starting yesterday with this new format, with the fact that we had a best-of-5 yesterday, that Genji were able to win. I think the immediate assumption, as we might be interrupted here momentarily by a bit of an engage, Faker does have the cage ready. Peanut once again finds himself inside it, but he's just going to walk it out, but chicken secured here by T1. Let's go back to the thought. You might think that it's a detriment for Genji to have to play 2 best-of-5s in a row. I think for a player like Doran especially, he's leveled up, and he can continue to do so, as now Faker is going to go into melee range against Jovi here. Finds himself the burst of flight forward, but it's not going to quite be enough to lock down the kill. That is why you always drink your potions, ladies and gentlemen. Flash for flash, though, and Faker he's laning real well today.
Yeah, just committing the ult here for tempo and almost gets the kill. It's a trade of flashes, so this is a lane we've seen our best mid laners get prio in as the Veigar, and even with a good sidestep there from Chovy, the damage is just too much.
And even with Chovy staying alive, what this gets T1 is a first Drake. Hextech Dragon going to be given over here. As an individual Drake, obviously quite strong. Ability haste and attack speeds are stats that anyone loves to get. And Phase and Delight actually in the previous few plays were mostly ahead of the roam because they have actually been playing the lane out very well, right? So we saw previously as well when they were going for the invades, Genji was ready to commit, knowing that their bot lane was on the roam.
Okay, they're going to look to try and escape from this one. Flash out from Carrier as now Blade Caller not going to get the snare. He's going to miss. Featherstorm has to be invested. Actually, a huge cooldown is here on the top side. Zeus is looking for a solo. Just needs to hit another shock blast, and that could be a dead Doran, but no, he takes a drink. And he should be all right. Just dragging things, I guess. And Zeus is now going to get control of this wave back.
Bottom lane going a lot better for Pays and Delight than it would have if we had seen that double 80 carry lane in the bottom side. His owner hits level 6. He's not going to actually commit to anything here. But that prio alone hasn't been enough because topside is so under the control of T1. And with that near kill onto Chovy, they're able to take that first Drake. Now this is the expectation with this draft here for T1. We already know it's not going to be Hextech Soul. Ocean the next Drake here. If they can stack 2, the Soul is going to be a big deal. What it ends up being here as Genji, they have a great team fighting composition, but T1 is already starting the ball rolling.
And the more advantage that T1 can get, the better. But as mentioned, as Doran.
Yeah, looks for some cooldowns immediately. The flash out from the Gragas and Zeus. I think he's done it. There's the return of the favors. No, Doran's going to be able to make it out. He just walks it off.
There is 7 health.
Walk it out. This guy is immune to death.
And the man, his body slams that minion wave, and Zeus goes in. His reaction time is insane. He's just waiting for that opportunity in the bush, but he still doesn't have the damage yet.
Do note we have a double lane swap here. Both teams wanting to contest the early Heralds. There is still no Featherstorm here for Pace. That is big. Guma has his ultimate available, but Delight does have a level lead. Wouldn't be surprised to see Carrier try and soak some XP somewhere if we do end up getting a fight. Looking at the river though, very firmly in control of T1. And for their comp, I think that vision control is extremely important because as long as they're aware of where the initiation is, they should have a great position at fighting for Dragon control, fighting for Herald control because of their poke. And with Cage, you can't really dissuade the Rakan, the Gragas, and the Wukong from going in.
And beyond that, I think the team fights here for Genji are ultimate based. So if you can bait ultimates out, like Pace, for example, still doesn't have his, it's really difficult to team fight, whereas a Cage alone could just push Genji away, and you have all the follow-up range damage, and they do, of course, let Doran go down here, but because he's a Gragas, he can't take a plate here. Zeus just saves teleport, is able to come over here and deal with this. Wasn't going to be able to help his team out if there was that Cage engage with the follow-up damage. Doesn't need to, and is going to be able to react to Doran. So T1 saved the plate bottom side, grabbed the Herald, It's a bloodless fight. There's nobody goes down, but T1 are the winners of the objective.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, really smart play here for T1. They had the timer on the Featherstorm. They knew that Gen G couldn't fight without it, and even though they rotated their top lane up, they weren't able to get the control, and therefore, it is a free Herald their way. 2 minutes now on the next Drake. There will definitely be a Featherstorm for that one. We'll see whether Gen G can even things out on the Drake score. 600 gold the lead here for T1.
He knows.
As, yeah, Peanut gets all the information. Doran's over here as well as Zeus. Can he stay alive? As in goes Peanut. He finds the Cyclone. Zeus could be taken down, but no, it's the fadeaway ultimate from Owner to save his top laner, but I don't think it's going to be enough. There's the Q. And now Owner is underneath his turret. Faker is going to come in and look to save his jungler. And once again, Peanut is put inside a cage. He's done this so many times. He's going to survive. And there is the depth charge. And Doran is going to get them out of there, but it's not going to be enough to save Peanut. A 1-for-1 in the end.
Really well timed.
And crucially there, it's Faker that, with the TP, is able to help. Guma and Carrier arrive as well. And while the initial play, very nicely done here by Gen G, T1 are actually able to punish. Not quite enough for Gen G there. I think if they kill Zeus a little bit earlier, if Delight and Peanut were going in there together, would have been a really easy play, but Peanut spent so much time.
Well, Jovi's going to have to use his cleanse pretty early on here. And switched over to that one with his unsealed spellbook, like many Aries do.
And as you mentioned, Peanut knows they're here, wants to come over on a very squishy Jace here and look for the engage. But watch this from Owner. The save here nearly on Zeus' life comes through, means Peanut has to flash. The Cyclone's already been activated, so T1 identify with Faker's teleport coming over. He should be able to arrive here and set up this cage for massive damage before the rest of the team can get away. He's got the ult and carry at basically max range, takes him out with the ultimate here. Delight also has to burn an ultimate, so many of these tools used for Gen G, and like I was saying before, you really need these ultimates to win skirmishes. T1 can win them basically with basic abilities.
What we did see is that a couple of waves have now gone into the turret, and I think that's why the gold's still relatively even here. Pace has just been parked in the side lane, whereas the rest of T1 has mostly been responding, and that means that right now, gold, which was firmly in lead of T1, still slightly in favor of them, but kind of a negligible advantage that they have here right now. The second Drake is live. Again, look at the control that T1 have here in Vision. That's going to be a recurring theme here. Very, very valuable here for this composition. Has the range of that Jace and Varus available.
Yeah, a couple of plates will go over, thanks to Shelly. She will allow Zeus to feel a lot better in this matchup that Doran has been sneaking out of so many times. But Gen G will use the opportunity of that top side attention to grab themselves the dragon. It's an ocean, but it does mean that T1's a little bit further away from the Cloud Soul.
But the early Serrated Dirk here purchase for Zeus means playing into this matchup of the Ahri feels pretty amazing. You know, they put the Veigar to the Gragas where he's just going to be free stacking AP. Now has a Rod of Ages. The flipping the solo lane matchup here really well. And putting the pressure on. Zeus picks up another solo plate there on the top side after the crash comes through. So much money being picked up on this Jace right now. Chovy?
Oh, great little charm here from Chovy. As Zeus finds himself the Shock Blast. Chovy still needs to be careful. He flashes to get the Orbit Deception, and that's the solo kill.
Really big moment there from Chovy. Goes in aggressively. And Zeus really struggling in this game, not something that we're used to seeing from him, but in high-pressure games
I also don't know this.
he has sometimes looked somewhat out of sorts here. It all starts with the charm. Zeus also, again, going down with the flash here, and getting on Chovy's Ahri is big, because we know how incredibly impactful. Currently, I think 18-4 after yesterday.
Oh shit, that charm.
This champion, 2 levels up as well. And you gotta respect it.
You know, Zeus here goes back in. He actually gets the knockback, which is pretty well played. It's the best he could have done there, but flashing the initial charm would have been the play. Tough to waste your flash in a lane like this, though, considering the Spirit Rush will chase you down. And he opts not to use it, but now he's 0-3, and we were talking about the pressure he was putting on that top lane, grabbing that additional plate, but Chovy strikes back in a big way. And if you don't dodge those, you're going to go down.
I don't think it's too much of an issue for T1 just yet. You can see they're still ahead in gold, and plate gold has gone to the Jace. He's got the most on his team, even with Chovy, of course, who is going to be a force to be reckoned with as well. But this mid-game, if it's not about T1 taking control with their huge range advantage, then Gen G, they can bide their time. And if Paze is playing like he was yesterday, he's pretty reliable when he's on a late game carry like this.
That's mean. Are they going to target him again?
Maybe. Well, Owner is in a little bit of trouble. There's the charm. As in goes Delight. They are not risking anything.
Oh, shit.
They're going to make sure that is a dead Sejuani.
I mean, Genji now in a very comfortable position in this game.
The what there?
The second Herald spawns here in 30 seconds, and Owner doesn't have flash just yet. No way to get out of this. And they're very comfortably in control of top side and mid. And yeah, Faker's going to be able to hold his own on the bottom side of the map. Doesn't have teleport set here, but Genji should be able to just group up and take this.
What's really big there as well is that it's actually Pace picking up the kill. And as you were pointing out, this player has been playing way beyond what can be expected of a rookie in his first split. Has been looking like a veteran in how he's been able to take leads. The main issues for Genji ever arose when he falls behind in lane, which is something that in the early playoffs actually happens quite a lot.
Reminds us of his first game, right? Against this very opposition.
He got clapped.
He did.
Without Peanut having Cyclone here, diving this
the
isn't really
Vegas
going to happen. It's not realistic. So with a little bit of contest in mid here, and Zeus
how
pressing
many
back Cryo
stackers
top
he
side,
got?
it will in fact be T1 who take this Herald. Genji not willing to fight without Cyclone, so ultimately that pick onto Owner, while it was a kill going over to Pays, it's going to cost them the Herald
Zaya
because of that ultimate
blue
usage.
buff
There's no
and
cross map
red
available
buff.
without Peanut being able to set up the dive. So Baker just sitting pretty down here, and they will secure now both Rift Heralds on the Rift.
Yeah.
Zeus should be able to pick up first Turret Blood as well on this Jace, unless Owner decides he has a different place for it, and I don't think they'll need to. Just press W in range form and take down turrets basically for free. And that is exactly what Zeus is going to do. So despite the fact that he's 0-3, he's probably got a lot of money.
Yeah, I also want to call back to a game where I think his KDA was like, it was I don't know if it was 04, like somewhere in between the 04 and the 07 range. Wasn't very good, got similar to this, pummeled in lane as Jace, and then ended up doing the most damage regardless and carrying late game team fights. So shouldn't over-index on Zeus struggling in lane, but what I do think is important that a lot of T1's wins, particularly in the middle and the end of the split when they looked as dominant as they did, were them snowballing so well. And what we're looking at right now with picks like this, Genji effectively denies an opportunity to T1. And what I love here is that it starts off as maybe we pick off Zeus again, but then T1 actually responds and they kind of read the play, but Genji is one step ahead of them. And that's not something that we've seen often.
Yeah, but it comes at the cost of 2 critical ultimates. Genji aren't able to take the Herald, so T1 remain ahead in gold. The biggest concern for this Jace being 0-3 is that he hasn't been able to farm very efficiently, is behind Doran, significantly behind Chovy, who he's been laning against for most of this game. And as you can see, his item value here at this mid-game, still 5.7k, but his Muramana spike is going to be significantly delayed. So mid-game poke damage, a little bit slower than you'd like to see on a Jace in this composition, which gives Genji the opportunity to close that gap faster and more safely. Lift alone in this top lane right now, no one to answer.
Not a lot of attention being given to that top side as this Drake seems to be the focus of Genji right now. Doran with the ability to teleport in. And I didn't think that this game would be one where we'd have to discuss what team fights are going to look like for both of these teams, because it looked to me like T1's setup was going to be enough to sort of skew that to the point where these team fights are going to be really difficult. But now, so much is going to be on the shoulders of both Owner and Faker to control the team fights along with Carrier as well. Getting all of that CC down. Because Doran, if he finds himself a flank, if Gumayushi dies early, Genji could just roll over them.
Absolutely. Going to use this Herald to try to get mid-prio, but they're by no means secure in terms of this Drake setup right now. Cage is going to whiff too. Chovy did not break his Banshee's Veil. And this is a fight that Genji absolutely could take with Flash Cyclone.
Brute Force does get the outer turret in the mid lane, though. Certainly a good thing here for T1. Can they get the Drake off the back end of it, though, is the question.
Chovy, just as Faker, both level 13 to the highest level in the game, both of them having an incredible amount of farm available here. And this Banshee's Veil is something that, Peanut!
Oh dear, Peanut just going to go in though as Chovy looks for the charm. The flash out from Carrier though. It is going to be Warrior Trickster, so Peanut is going to have to get out and he has to use both of his Cyclone charges on kind of nothing. As Doran looks for the cast to deliver the jungler. That should be the Drake now. The team fight in Everfrost is beautiful here from Chovy as it's a double kill for Pace.
And Genji had bet on this composition saying we are going to be the better team fighting team. And when you have a Herald crashing in mid, it's hard to actually keep your cool. Don't use your ultimates to try to deny that. But they give up the mid turret, set up the better engage here.
Zaya getting fat though.
Pulling the jungler out than having that follow-up.
And it comes from the player that was
you don't know
criticized
Genji
most.
play me?
That was considered the weak point. Doran is the one that sets
we
the
like
play
it.
right there, gets Owner into the rest of the team. And right now, Genji with an incredible team fighting composition starting to stumble. Look at Pace. He is monstrously fed.
And this is just an angle where Genji are like, we have all of our ults. It looks like Peanut's out of position, but what he's really doing here is setting up for a hard engage here. He's able to get through this cage. And then when Doran shows up here on the TP, when T1 are trying to come back in here, they're like, okay, Cyclone's down. They've been baited in. Doran over the wall, body slam into cast. That's the end of the jungler. And they see they've got the damage. So Light makes a call. Some iffy ones yesterday, especially on the Tom Kench, but looking clean so far here in this first game.
And it's like both Doran and Delight have continued their improvement, which was the trend yesterday. And it's like this is a game 5, actually, not a game 1. Because it's like that series is just extended. Really beautiful play. Doran especially, man. I don't know what he had for breakfast, but I want some. I want to be able to perform at the level of this man right now. Because he is doing so well and so much better than so many expected going into Zeus here today.
And what is very, very cool to see is that, hold up.
Speaking of which,
my God.
gorgeous cask! The special delivery into the Cyclone of Peanut, and Zeus is dead once again. Genji, I thought they had their eyes on the Baron for a second there, but they're probably not going to get ahead of themselves.
And the level of comfort that Genji have available here is crazy, but what they're doing here is exactly the same thing as they did last year, right? Like, the benefactor of all of these kills is Pace. Last year it was Ruler, and the team fighting is still there, but it's the top side that enables it. Doran, Peanut, and Chovy are setting up so many of these plays. Pace just has to walk up, gets the last hits, but if you're a fed Xayah in a late game team fight, your impact is going to be incredible.
T1, it's a T1 Baron, and Genji, no vision here, but they are aware of this. They're going to have to rotate over quickly. TP will be denied.
Chovy, can he find it? No! Doesn't actually see him. And now Teleport is going to have to come in here. Genji in position. There it is, and the pickup immediately onto the area. Oh no, Chovy's been caught there before.
And not
I think
only
he
does
got
he
a big
not deny the
bounty,
TP,
man.
but he's
I
picked
think
instantly
he also
in
has
this
a big
fight.
bounty.
TP wasted to
Another
fight.
goes
shit.
down. Let's see what they can actually find here as Peanut.
I think they can fight though.
He's able to use his warrior tricks to the Baron. Is down incredibly low.
Shit.
Peanut gets stunned. And he flashes the wrong way. Can he get the answer? No, when they pick up Peanut anyway. T1 back in control.
You can't steal a Baron from Guma and Owner, especially when Guma is on Varus. It just isn't going to happen.
Looking like they were backed into a corner. That's when they're most dangerous. Start of the Baron.
What happened? What the heck?
Too rough.
Genji was winning,
we go
and
back
then
to this play very nicely set
and
up
then
here,
they throwing.
and a great showing of the Genji top side, and up until this
Oh
point,
my
they
God,
were looking
man.
impeccable.
What
But
is
do note, there's 2 wards here.
It's
right?
suddenly
Mistake is
throwing.
taken.
What the-
You're not getting
You know they have
revenge.
Baron,
You're
huh?
not getting out of that one.
Oh no, that was everything in the kitchen sink thrown at that ward.
Genji here with a desperate deny attempt, but not only is the Baron
Faker also doing the damage because they keep like.
Bit of a fight here.
Yeah, bit of a fight in live that is happening.
Eat the Faker
is going to
W.
do that as the
The
Baron
meteor shower.
by an empowered Q. Owner once again in a precarious position, and Faker, it's his turn to get
shit.
caught out of position. And now Pace is going to be delivered a 4th kill this time around. Oh my, I wasn't expecting calamity like this in game 1, gentlemen.
And you mentioned this, Chronicler, just moments ago about last season. Okay, hold on, we're still fighting.
Yeah, that is Peanut being put into the bouncy castle as he's down extraordinarily low. Battle Dance comes in, Owner says not on my watch. And he will be able to lock down the jungler. The flash forward from Carrier, but he finds the wall. That is the Orbit Deception. Chovy gets himself out of there, and so does Carrier.
I think
and this
Sejuani
is
getting
a team fighting
tanky.
composition here for Genji that is reliant on ultimates, but it's reliant on Pace being fed. And while T1 does win this last skirmish, he's now up 4 kills, already has quick blades, and he is rushing to a 3rd item. When it was Ruler, the reason why everyone predicted Genji, even though we knew in a neutral meta, maybe T1 was the better team, they showed that at Worlds. Genji had the better read on the Zeri meta. Lehens had the answer to Yuumi, and he was the best Yuumi player in the LCK. But now, Pace trying to solidify himself as the best AD carry here in this best of 5. It starts off well. Faker overextends here and is caught. It looked like maybe they could turn a pick, but after those ultimates go down, T1 with the re-engage here. Tina is way too far forward.
We're seeing every side of Peanut here today, Chronicler.
Yeah, it's really the great team fight into the... probably shouldn't have been there. Wholeheartedly agree. But we're not done. I think we're going to fight for this next Drake as well if T1 want to deny the soul point. And what I do want to note, yes, T1 got Baron, but look at the Baron power play. Look at the gold lead. It has barely moved.
Yeah, there is absolutely no difference as Faker is going to be spotted on this ward. Chovy round to the side. As Genji going to get collapsed upon here by T1. A lot of damage being done to this Drake. As let's see whether Owner can even that one out. There's the cast. As Faker's just moved in there. The Cyclone's fantastic. The Drake down to 1 health and Peanut as an afterthought picks up soul point. As Doran is incredible at Gragas. Yeah, carrying looks for the huge blade instead. He's going to find the death chamber and Genji
scanned him on
back
the
in control again.
They knew. They saw the Hextase, or I think the wards on the bottom river brush there saw the channel coming through from Keria, and otherwise that is an insane read from Genji. Get themselves some points. Pace picks up another kill, and this first game is delivering on everything we wanted. Now T1 still has again the range. The range rather. Range plate is done.
They might have the range.
They might have at this point. Yeah.
This
is a messy one. And it means that whichever team is able to outfight in these team fights is able to get the crucial pick. It's looking favored.
Slowed down. There is another cast, but it's just going to create space, so they guarantee the outer turret. So Genji will claim a gold lead, I believe.
Yeah.
After that.
Just slightly it looks like here, but it's very close.
The Rakan,
the way these fights are going, how clutch Doran has been at getting these picks. Look at the angle here to grab Faker. Incredible. And the thing is, worst case scenario,
I think this game Doran MVP
take out the enemy jungler, but taking out the Veigar is just way too much damage to lose, and then you can't actually fight without your cage anymore.
He's on vision.
He is on vision, and he comes in here, and he's instantly deleted. Big play attempt here, but it ends up giving over more gold to Genji.
And do want to highlight right now, if Genji is able to pick up a soul here, look at their champions, like the value on Ahri, on Wukong, on Rakan, on Xayah of a Cloud Soul is actually crazy. And bold statement, regardless of the outcome of this game, I don't think Doran is going to be allowed to play Gragas again.
No.
I don't know if Peanut gets allowed to play Wukong again either.
We don't let him.
No,
I think we let it go.
I think this is a very, we've had some pretty easy POG votes. We don't actually have them here for the final. But if there was one, for this game, it's pretty cut and dry. You know, I think that if Genji win, it's going to Doran. And if T1 win, I'm not entirely sure just yet. Faker made some amazing plays early on. I think Owner's positioning was pretty good as well. But if they win, it might be on the back of some pretty crazy turnaround plays and some kiting from Gumayusi, because we haven't actually spoken about this. There is only one player currently in the LCK that I am okay with playing on hit Varus, and it is this man right here. And in the late game, he just does so much damage if he's given the space. So T1, they need to try and make sure that Gumayusi is safe in these fights.
One thing I am worried about is Faker went for Deadman's
you read
play.
my mind. As soon as you and I both at the same time, we looked at each other. I'm worried about this too.
Between the Wit Sand on Guma, which is going to give him a lot of survivability, is, I might have to hold that thought. Looking like we are posturing here, but Deadman's played as good as it is as trying to get in range and being able to actually cage people. I don't know if you need it into the Genji comp, and it's going to really delay your Rabadon and Void Spike, which means that the point at which you can do like really big damage is going to be severely delayed. And obviously Faker will still have a lot of value with cage into the Genji comp, but does mean some of the damage might be lacking here.
I just think that, Owner, I really disagree with you, because I don't think you're really trying to close the gap on this Genji composition. You're trying to zone it a little bit and set up for damage, and you need more damage. Getting the approach on this team to set up cages isn't really the way this comp operates.
Well, that's a hook. As, Owner is down so incredibly low, finds another fadeaway, but it's onto a clone Peanut. He does end up having to flash, as now Chovy's taking matters into his own hands. Owner still in a bit of trouble. There's another huge cast. Faker's inside his own cage, but that provides safety to the grand entrance. That is going to seal the deal, and it's a double kill for Pace. Is it going to be the triple? There it is. And can he get a quadra in game 1 of the grand final of his first split of the LCK? The answer's no. He'll have to settle with a triple.
8 kills in this game.
He's legendary.
Genji are going to be able to go and take the Baron here. Doran is just chasing Owner down. He won't overextend here to try to get the kill. He's going to be able to get out with the help of the Cloud Rift here. But Genji in firm control of this game right now. And gold lead at this moment in time from this team fight, but you're about to pick up a much larger one with this Baron.
When you're able to kite back, when you're able to use your range, the T1 comp works, but if that gap is ever closed, you are in serious trouble, and we keep seeing it here. Everything
so many flash going on.
Disengage comes through, Peanut is forced to flash out, but Genshin is just unrelenting, and Doran, man.
This guy.
The Doran bang two people, man. That's all.
And once the engage comes through, Faker has to try to kite back in. The follow-up is there from Delight, and every single time we're seeing Delight follow up on Doran's engages.
And Doran is, two people find him. And this is a Doran that you cannot just kill if you find him in a brush.
And not only
got
is
four
Faker not
dragon
really
already.
big,
Oh no.
on Chovy. He has Banshee's Veil. He's lost it now for this fight. Peanut does have Cyclone. T1 want to stop this, but I don't think they can.
This is Soul. They are going to be able to steal it away. Deny the Soul owner. He will die, but it's a fair bit of time for, especially with Elder on the horizon. Still, Genji with Baron and with a lot of control.
Every time they steal one
and the smite here from the Sejuani. This time it's already just going in straight up.
Varus is starting to get a little bit too notorious.
I mean, how many of these best of fives do we have to watch this guy set up for steals?
Oh, Peanut. He's certainly been put in a cage many, many times here.
If he killed the clone,
I do want to highlight T1 buying time. I think still extremely valuable here.
Vega kill a clone.
Oh dear, Chovy looks doesn't get it.
Also have
that one. He won't have his ult for the next little while.
And I mean, they're still getting multiple turrets from this. They're zoning him away. His wave clear is so important. Chovy, or rather Faker's, is to actually stop these pushes.
Vega, he buy the tank item.
With the fact that Owner was dead for so long, Gen.G were able to take down a couple of inner turrets, and now that gold lead. I mean, it was the highest gold lead we had for what felt like the first 25 minutes of the game was 1.3k. That's not very high at all.
No, they just need to wait them, make one mistake though. If not,
we'll see.
very hard.
Owner being able to heroically steal away the Drake to buy them some precious time.
Always on the edge with those Varus arrows too, making it easier.
Really big as well is Keria getting the hook there, because if Doran is able to try and interrupt Owner and they get soul points, Gen.G is going to be in an even more commanding lead. Still, they have a team fight comp and they're taking control of the map. And even though the T1 comp, as mentioned, might have some opportunities when it comes to singling out targets, trying to hunt with the zero individual people, once you start losing control of the map against a comp with as much hard engage and team fighting power as Gen.G, it becomes so difficult to actually get fights on your terms. And if you don't get those as T1 at this point, you're really going to be struggling.
See whether they go for a dive attempt, as we have only 15 seconds left on this Baron. They're still done the most damage in the game. We mentioned, Charm is going to connect, but Owner is still going to be able to make it out. Still, Orb Deception does a lot of work. And Frost Armor doesn't do too much against the true damage.
And going back to Faker, he's so far away from a death cap. He's going Void Staff now, so he's really just not going to hit that spike this game. It's just not going to happen. And you're going up against so much armor gear. The poke from Zeus is just irrelevant.
Chains of Corruption, they are just going to stun him for as long as possible. Doran was taking forever. This is like mostly damage on the Gragas. And still with the fully stacked Rod of Ages, as well as the extra armor from the Zhonya's, he's, I guess, going to be K.
Look at Peanut. He's got the Chain Vest as well. Your Banshee's Veil here on Chovy. You're just deflecting so much of this damage.
How is Shadow Flame Gragas tanking that much?
I don't get it at all.
W, he presses
Level
W.
18, maybe? I don't know. Well, in goes Chovy, finds another charm, this time onto his ex-teammate, Keria, and pays. Will another kill. It's his 9th of the game. As Peanut is going to take matters into his own hands. Fumiushi, he goes golden. It buys some time, but the Feather Storm is there, and it's a double. 4 pays on the bottom side for Gen.G. They'll take down the last remaining inner turret, and now it looks like they're going to go spend their wads of cash.
This is his first finals game ever. He's 10-0.
10-0, has a scimitar. He's full.
This is 10-0, man.
How I was expecting the series to go.
Well, look, it's still game 1. But I think Gen.G really showcased that they know how to use this composition brilliantly. And unfortunately, the Veigar pick here, uncharacteristically from Faker, is just not hitting. And once Doran is this fed and can walk into a turret, tank turrets up, and just push deep and not really care about a Jace, not care about a Veigar, and look at the engages he wants when you've got a Wukong on top of that. Ori can look for charms. There's just too many threats for T1 to deal with, and as you said,
I never thought I would say this, but
T1 are just shooting with like
Veigar is not buying AP,
armor.
like he buys,
and there's just never really an angle for anybody to get into the back line. For Faker to set up the cage, it's going to lead to a team fight win. You're just losing slowly.
And another big thing, and how that fight and many fighters
one that
started
can
out as well,
kill
is that
anyone is
Chovy,
Uma.
who often goes for an early Banshee's Veil, uses it as an aggressive item, right? Like when it comes to damage, obviously, it's suboptimal, but with how aggressively he fishes for charms and fishes for plays, the Banshees actually allows him space.
Banshee got 4
It's one of
people
those
that
things
can
that we often
kill
talk about
people.
hypothetically, and then they don't actually use it. But that's the reason why I think Chovy's Ahri is, well, this game, you know, it's not in the bag yet, but they do have a 6k gold lead, and
I think
his impact has been undeniable. Hey, I've seen crazier comebacks, okay? Think back to Game 5, KT versus T1.
And the main thing about this game being important is, maybe going to be interrupted here. Zona once again wanting to deny yet another soul point and collect one of his own.
Would be big.
We'll see. Some posturing now as the Drake is going to spawn right this second. Just going to take some time. Peanut and Pays do so much damage. It's 6 items on this 10 and Ozaya. And there it is. It's gone. They get a ward in. They get the bad news immediately.
And Baron spawned, but they can't try to trade objectives.
LCK is 6 minutes.
And actually we're able to
Saya
keep
full
control.
item
prevent
ready.
T1 from going over. Now you can start this, but can you finish it?
Well, this is a Hail Mary, and T1, I think,
Oh.
that they are certainly
T1 got no
circling the
choice
drain, so
really.
you may as well go for one. Shock Blast connecting, Charm does not. His Carrier's in trouble.
Oh.
That's
what?
stolen by Peanut. That could be the last nail in the coffin. His Pace not free hitting right now, but finds the Gale Force. Collects his double kill. Dumishi knocked up, prepared on a silver platter.
They finally
for the
killed
AD
Guma.
carry of Genji. Make
Guma
it
first
13,
death, right?
shall we? As he picks
No,
up
no,
the
no,
triple and
second.
Faker running for the hills right now, but Peanut, I think, may just stop it. And Genji, they will take game number 1. I hazard to guess
Oh,
after that
3-0
play.
is gone already? What the fuck?
Surely they can push for end here.
I think so.
Team 0-2!
And look, the story of this game, I think, is
T1, you choked in
somewhat
finals again?
because of the
No?
hyper pace potential of the Royal Rotor here about his 13-0 scoreline. But
Not
the
like
majority
this.
of this game was set up by Doran, and the two of them
Yeah, like
worked
this.
so well together
Oh
with Delight to lead to a 16 or 6-20 kill score here in this game.
And who were the 3 players that we were most concerned about? We were most concerned about Doran. He's 1-0-10. I'm going to hold that thought for a moment. Pace is going to get another kill. The Charm connects at the same time.
Oh,
Peanut
boy.
grabs that one. And
first
the
game
will of
only.
Genji. They take game number 1 in the grand final. And to quote Obi-Wan Kenobi, we hear the sound of predictors around the world cry out in terror and be suddenly silenced.
And T1, a team this
They need
roster
to
with
change
so much
strategy, if not they
experience
cannot win.
would not be surprising. But what this does mean is this is not the best of 3, or best of 5 rather, that we were expecting today.
Yes.
Even the 3-1 prediction, like me, I was expecting Genji get 1 game, maybe T1 make a mistake, they fudge up a drop. That doesn't happen. Instead, what we get is an extremely dominant and confident game from a Genji that get their comfort and then show why they shouldn't be allowed to have.
And like game 1 yesterday with KT Rolster, they win it on red side when T1 actually has the pick of side selection for game 1. So Genji can now turn this series into their favor in terms of side selection if it does go to 5. And man, it is a great start here. Doran looking like he might have been a little bit emotional there after this first game. I gotta say, he popped off from that kill at level 1. He got the momentum, and he was playing his best game. And when Doran is on, he is on in every single cast. I mean, Owner just wasn't allowed to play.
Jace.
He almost outdamaged the Zaya.
Yeah.
That had 1,000,000 kills.
That's Shadow Flame Gragas for you, ladies and gentlemen.
Shadow
Doran,
Flame,
absolutely amazing performance. One thing I do want to say, and we were getting pretty hyped about Genji in this one. You mentioned it right at the end of your little monologue there, Chronicler, and that was the fact that Genji were on absolute comfort. For every single one of these players,
he don't have
I
damage.
think that there is no more iconic
He's not
champion
playing
in this current setup for them
Vitality.
that has the highest power level. And so I think T1 losing here, it just means that they can't give them their best possible composition going into game number 2. We'll have to see how this draft is going to evolve and whether we're going to see T1 take a different side. It is now time for a short break, then we'll have the space. Break down that game number 1.
Area macam Mewtwo. I don't know. This game macam cannot.
Hey, do you see Nautilus actually got 25% win rate? I'm like, what? I feel like Nautilus Hook missed a lot at this game. Look at this. Oh no.
Yeah, I don't want to watch.
BBQ.
Barbecue lah.
Toilet time.
먹었어. 베가. 야, 제이스 봐줄 사람 있어? 제이스. 바루스. 여기 바루스 맞아.
탑으로 갈래? 탑라인 어때? 탑라인 해줘, 탑라인. 미드 끊겼어.
내가 베이가 텔 끊을게. 탑라인. 내려가봐.
내가 집 갔다 텔 탈게.
베이가 노플. 내가 끊어볼게.
세주랑 1대1 중.
잡았어. 끝났어.
나이스. 너무 잘했다.
한준씨 뭐예요?
돌아왔어.
여러분 안녕하세요. T1의 임년입니다. 2023 LCK 스프링 시즌 우리 T1이 정규 시즌에서 17승 1패만을 하면서 1위로 결승전에 진출했습니다. 와, 축하합니다. 네, 결승전이 치러지는 서울 잠실 종합운동장에서 T1을 응원하는 응원 소리가 크게 울려 퍼질 거라고 생각하는데, 많은 팬들의 응원 소리가 우리 T1 선수들에게 전달이 된다면 T1 선수들 더 멋진 모습으로 트로피를 향해 나아갈 거라 저는 믿어 의심치 않습니다. 우리 선수들 긴장하지 마시고 평소 연습하던 그 모습 그대로 경기를 치른다면 후회 없는 결과 얻으실 거라 저는 믿습니다. V11 T1의 11번째 LCK 트로피를 위해서 우리 모두 T1을 응원하겠습니다. T1 화이팅! 제509K 화이팅!
안녕하세요. 브리온 단장 박정덕의 친구 우주대사 김희철입니다. 네, 저 역시 SK T1 너무 좋아하는데요. 이번 스프링 시즌을 우리 T1이 17승 1패라는 굉장히 좋은 기록으로 마무리를 했잖아요. 와,
진짜
축하드리고 한편으로 부럽기도 하네요. 이번 남은 경기 우리 결승전에서도 멋진 모습 보여주길 바랍니다. 언제나 응원해요. 우리 T1 화이팅!
안녕하세요, 마미손입니다. T1 이번
마미손?
스프링 시즌 1위와 MSI 진출 확정을 축하드립니다. 와, T1 팬으로서
My God, can he don't
꼭
sweat
승리하시길 바라겠습니다. T1 화이팅! 와!
What the shit?
괜찮아해요. 뭐 T1? No. I think team who win game 1 got very high chance to win the series.
What?
I mean teams who win game 1 got very good chance to win.
不是这样讲的哦。
Not meh. I thought it's like that.
I don't know. You cannot give them comeback, man.
Well, no. That hair. It's actually possible for people to from curly hair become straight hair, meh?
要去烫那个头发。
So is Faker supposed to be curly? Oh, it's his
I
natural
think
hair.
it's natural hair lah.
Natural hair is curly. Yeah. Seal Fiesta. The city sponsored this tournament.
Hello and welcome back to the Jamshil Indoor Arena Space. I am Valdez, with me is Ox and Huni, and that was game number one that perhaps a lot of our fans were not expecting, but Gen.G came in and they clapped them so hard in that first game. It was so extremely one-sided in my mind. What did you guys think?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, starting off with the draft, I felt like the Jace and the Veigar, made a lot of sense. Like the Veigar into a short-range composition that Gen.G had, pretty good. And the Jace as well outranges a lot of things. We've seen how good Zeus can be on it. But I think there were some concerns about the Kennen.
Yeah, I mean, I personally didn't really like the Kennen, but if I really have to assume like why they banned it, like I think they could open like IP the top champion, which is like the Kennen, and then like they could also do a Yawn like from the Chovy.
They
like,
say
that's probably my guess. But the thing is, like, you know, I think that from the draft, I don't think there was any problem from T1.
Yeah,
No,
I think
I
maybe
think
like
they
if
say,
they
like,
banned
they
the Gragas
shouldn't ban
instead,
Kennen.
it could have gone better. But I think objectively, the draft is fine. It wasn't a draft
they
issue,
banned
it was definitely a
Kennen.
gameplay
Wait.
issue.
Yeah, started off that way and decided Gen.G, you know,
Nani.
it seemed pretty stock standard, right? You're kind of drafting some more engaged, but at least
Yeah,
their comp
maybe they
has
bang
an
Gragas
identity across the
and
board.
not
And
Kennen.
we can jump straight into
I think
Highlight 1
Gragas
because we got to
more
talk about
scary.
what Doran was able to do on the top side. Started out with T1 not able to convert on this game.
Yeah, and with the Jace,
step
if you
is
can
nice,
get
actually.
momentum for the Jace for Zeus, it's fantastic. That's what the play plan was here. They went top at about 3.5 minutes, but a little bit of a miscalculation here
That
from Zeus. He
the
ends up
Gragas
going
just
down,
enough.
and it didn't get much better from here.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have to know, like, this is like the blue side, the first pick, which is like the reason why they get the blue side. Like, it's also like there's a thing is like the strength, like 2-3, like you can pick together, like something like that. But the thing is, like, this draft, they first pick Jace, and it's Gen.G actually planned to take down like Zeus of the first pick blue side. So it's already from the pick and ban. Like, they couldn't really take any like bigger impact and the bigger advantage like from the T1.
Yeah, and the thing is, with a champion like Jace, you're a lethality champion, you want to be ahead of the curve, you want to have a gold lead, particularly when you have a lot of favorable lane matchups. But he just never really found footing in this game, constantly punished, and it meant that you didn't have this strong poke threat in your composition.
Yeah, and to me, it feels like immediately this is a huge issue for T1 because Zeus has been struggling a bit in playoffs. We've already seen it. And now in game one, they give him first pick Jace, and this is what happens, right? This is not what you would expect. Gen.G immediately had an answer. Doran's like, well, I'll just play my best comfort champion of Gragas and be able to sustain through some of those ganks. We can take out the second highlight as well, which was this team fight on the Drake, of course. And again, Genji and especially Doran able to set up some incredible stuff.
And I think what's fantastic is the amount of engaged tools that Genji has. If you're against a longer range composition with something like a Veigar, having multiple tools, multiple people to set it up is so important with Doran. He was the one making the big plays in this game.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, from Genji, like, Peanut started, like, kind of poor. Like, he had to burn the
Yeah.
things like Doran just... He changed
He's
the
the
whole sequence
one.
of the Drake. Like, I don't think that Genji was actually favored. The favorite, as the positioning wise, it was fine. But the thing is, like, he find the way that he can actually isolate the one person and just like focus on one pretty easily and starting to fight 4v5 completely. That was insane.
And I think once one person finds that engage, you have the follow-up. This is why Rakan's been so popular recently, because if Wukong or Gragas or Ahri gets that initial bit of CC, the Rakan can easily use the mobility to follow and layer that and get the kill.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The second the momentum started, you've got the follow-up from the Rakan. You have the Ahri right there. And the Xayah able to get in position at least to do incredible amounts of damage. And we did have a Zeus death reel. We didn't get a Doran highlight reel, but a lot of our highlights did kind of just look like him setting up incredible plays. And once that momentum got going, it was pretty crazy. And we can take a look at the final one as well, this final fight in the mid lane. Genji able to once again set up a incredible position for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, Genji was be able to find the like, just target selections. Like,
Yeah. That's what I say already, man. That's how he
it's the same thing. Like,
flash. He got the Veigar and the ADC, man.
And then, like, after when they burn, when they don't have a flash, the Rakan to find a way that he can actually be in the final positions that actually just finish the team fight, basically.
And again, like Pino was chunked out at the start of this play, wasn't necessarily going to be the one who could engage. If your only engage was the Wukong, you'd be struggling. But Doran comes in, Delight's there as well. I mean, there were concerns for Genji going up against a team like T1, but they have started so well in this series.
Yeah, all of the 3-0 Predators immediately thrown out the window.
Like you!
Thrown off the balcony, me included, alongside of a bunch of other of us, because, yeah, I mean, T1 on paper, maybe you would expect them to be the better team, but Genji came out and they're like, we're not talking about paper anymore. We're talking about the form on the day, and that's one of the things I mentioned in our pre-show, because, you know, T1, you look at Zaze, look at Keria, not really at their top form right now. Genji, they have come out with a bang here in the beginning of this best of 5. It's going to be difficult for T1, I think, to come back from that.
I mean, honestly, even if you're a 3-1 predictor, I'm feeling a bit nervous after that one. Genji, really in great form. And as much as Doran was the highlight, Paze and Delight both had fantastic games in that one.
I mean, if I have to say something good thing for T1, Genji didn't start really good yesterday, especially the first game. And I think I would say there's an advantage for Genji that because they played yesterday here, and this is like their already 5th game in here, but T1 is the first game. So that means like we gotta see the next one.
Yeah, that's exactly what Atlas was talking about at the top of his show as well. It's like you get comfortable in arena, you just feeling yourself, you get a big win in a best of 5, you just dunked on KT, who a lot of people were saying they were supposed to beat you, so how's that going? We can take a look at the side selection here as T1 have selected blue to the surprise of no one. Ox.
Yeah, I think you can tweak things definitely in the draft, but we said we didn't think draft was the major issue, and blue side is still something they're favoring, so they can get the first choice on those power picks.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I think that Knight changed the plan of the first pick because of this was like the game one was almost the first time Obazeo was playing actually like aggressive pick, and he actually failed. I mean, we've seen multiple times he blind picked Gnar and then he failed like sometimes, but the thing is that this is actually the first time he failed. He messed up with the Jace pick rather, and that's kind of critical. And I think there's gonna be change from the pick and ban.
And also we saw yesterday, KT took Jace, Genji took Jace in game 1, and then KT beat them, and then lost 3-1. So maybe T1 try to copy that.
Maybe. You know, it is one game. This is why we do play a best of 5, and I surely hope that T1 come back and show their top form. But again, that's why a lot of us are like, ooh, I don't know. Maybe it's going to be a quick series in favor of Genji, because they certainly didn't show any of that in game number 1. Like, there was a lot of comfort in the draft. They had the Veigar in mid. They had the Varus for Gumayusi. A lot of things that have been working for them, but certainly as a team, they did not execute on that very well in game 1.
Yeah, I think the thing to take into account is that regular season T1 was super clean. You know, that one loss against Honma Life was a mar on their record. But playoffs has been a different beast, right? The KT series was definitely a lot of back and forth. And I think individual members like Zeus haven't been at 100% over playoffs. So I wouldn't be too doom and gloom without them dropping a game, but this is definitely not a team who are as clean as we saw the regular season.
Buy Radiant Virtue before he buy
I think it's actually like whoever make more mistake, whoever make more critical mistake. I think that's like
usually what they do is one buy the Bomby Cinder
play, or like
and then straight away buy a
I'm keeping the highlight the consistency needed, like especially BO5 and the when it's like right for the playoff. Like that's what all you needed. And I think the game one, I think the Genji was actually a little bit above level of the team.
That's going to be pretty interesting to see what we get in Game 2 for sure. We don't have POGs for the final, for the grand final. I think for me, it's pretty obviously Doran. The guy, he could have had his own highlight reel if we had put it up there. We got a bunch of his highlights in just the Gen G highlights because so many of his casts were insane. And T1, they need an answer. This did not look good for them. We'll see if they do have an answer as we'll throw it back to the casters for game number 2.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Absolutely fantastic breakdown of that game number 1. And now, the test has been passed by KT yesterday. The Destroy the Jace test was passed. First pick Jace didn't work. Today, Gen G also going to pass the same test. But can they actually win the series?
Last year, the ruler support is the hands, right?
Their victorious game number 1 at the helm. Doran, who if we had POG, would have been POG unanimously by everyone. Except those couple of voters for Pays. I think that might happen, but I think we know that it's all about that
just
man
the
Yeah, we were even saying during the game, as good as Pays played, and he does deserve recognition for being as stable as he was, which was a really big issue throughout the splits, particularly against T1, but it was all about the top side, right? Particularly the solo laners, Doran playing insanely well, and Chovy kind of playing second fiddle because Doran was so good, but
they cannot do emotion. They need to do something.
To the utmost level, and Chovy has been on the air, and if they don't find a way to shut him down, T1 does with the mid jungle. I think they're going to keep running into this issue because his impact around the map and his proactivity is, I think, the best we've ever seen from him.
Yeah, and the opening video we had, it's the same as our opening for this season with Deft and Faker, is Deft's quote, "The most important thing is an unbreakable spirit," and for Doran, I think he's proven in the series yesterday and now at least in game 1 here that he is ready. He's got the momentum on his favor, and Zeus has been known in these critical
I think what Peanut did level 1,
you go back to
I think is
the MSI
secretly
finals,
a good player
because
the owner cannot gank the bot lane early. So the Zod is early game is the bot lane got no interaction. It's actually good for Gen G.
Is the same because in this first game it did not work
in, but
it didn't.
But
Here we
bot
are
lane
in pick
didn't
and ban
gonna
for
gank.
game number 2. T1
你这样讲就好像对。
sticking to the blue
没有啦，
side
就是
once
this
again
is
as
like
the bans. They
200
remain exactly
IQ
the
is
same
really what
as we
he
saw
did
in game number 1. Cassante would come in and Elise to round it out, and then that notorious first pick Jace would be the next option, but no, the change-up will be the Rakan ban here for T1.
And who would have thought? Who would have thought that Rakan would be banned against Delight in an LCK finals after 2 years of Frederick Rion for Delight? Now in a grand finals for the first time. Has an incredible performance here in this first game, and T1 respected.
I do love this for 2 reasons. One, we know that Faker himself can play the Cassante mid, so it is a flex pick. It doesn't give anything away in draft, and it also takes it away from Gen G. So starts off good here. I think the main thing that we want to see is adaptation. Not only in getting a great draft of their own, because I do think
I'll fight low or what?
But more importantly, denying it from Gen G. Yes, the Zyra Khan won't be given over. But yesterday, we saw KT try to deal with this Aphelios a bunch of times.
Pays?
Oh, is it Cade Lux?
Oh, Caitlyn, yeah, Caitlyn.
How many times has Gumi Ishikaria lost on Caitlyn Lux, gentlemen?
Oh,
I mean, Caitlyn Lux is a pick that, or a duo that has given them so much success, and Karia's Lux, in my mind, has been his most standout pick outside of the AD picks that he had at the beginning of the season. His Lux has been
somehow know
some of his
they
best
will lose
games
one
this
game.
season. We're on this pick, so even out of the 2v2
I don't know why
the high impact
always
player here. Gen G,
the finals are they will always lose one.
prioritize the R once again for Cody, so now picks like that Aphelios are likely to be removed. The Thresh for the Aphelios to be removed.
Also, you basically have to ban Lissandra here for very obvious reasons.
Zeus underperform
Faker is
again.
exceptional at it, and it is the best pick into Ahri. But if T1 can't figure out something that can actually
that's why I somehow have a good feeling.
I think Genji might try to do what they did yesterday, where through Chovy being impactful in mid lane, the bot lane, even though the matchup in the 2v2 is very rough, can still salvage. And if they can salvage and they can get to a mid game where they team fight, we've already seen they are good enough to match up against T1.
I think the Thresh ban here is just so
they
obvious
because
it's so empowering for Ahri as well, because she can, with Banshee's Veil, she's already somewhat safe to dive deep as in Fish like
then
Chovy
he'll
has
just
done.
play LeBlanc.
They're going to ban the Malphite here. You know, with the Cassante picked early, you're not as worried
that's
about
not what
this
Faker
pick.
did last
But the
game.
Thresh is just so easy. If you want to make sure that you're
I feel like
last game. Let me just look back.
he's going to be safe in a lot of these scenarios. But it looks like rather than that, they
Why,
want more hard engage here.
He loses
Good luck in the
Jace.
Nautilus.
Yeah, Nautilus going to come in. I'd actually already
that's how they say, man.
the Thresh because
I feel like Jace loses to tanks
that
right
final
now.
game. The Viego going to be picked up
Hey,
by
but
Ona,
Pace
one of
is
his
3-0
signature
that I
champions
see.
there in the jungle.
It looks more like
the flex of the
AD
Cassante
game.
towards that mid lane. We'll see whether Faker can utilize this pick
Until
to
behind, he
nullify
still
the Ahri
haven't
in
died
mid
yet, you
as
know.
Cannon going to come through for Zeus.
Oh,
And
Doran, what you gonna play?
As well,
it
right?
really is.
I think Gragas
the
is
Lightning
fine.
champions, Jace and Cannon.
Nah.
Jace didn't quite work out. The Cannon coming through blind here. What is Doran going to pick? And it is, to me, okay, well, you know what?
Yeah.
Why not?
It's a decent matchup into the Cannon. Like, if
Faker
it ain't
smiling.
broke.
What?
It's so remarkable to me that Genji are also recognizing how
Uma,
well he's playing by
Viego,
changing the priority that he's been getting in these drafts, right? He is actually the one
Wait.
that is getting counterpicked now. Now, it's
Keria
just 2 games
Cannon,
of Gragas, which
No lah.
No, it's Zeus Cannon.
You were looking at the Cannon.
Yeah, I was like,
the fat
Cannon
boy
support,
again.
Lux mid, Cassante top. Like, what's happening here?
Well, what's really interesting to me about how they played that last round is we said that they constantly were able to set up picks onto Faker, caught a few times as well on the Veigar.
I
But
think
Cassante is the only frontline
I think they're
T1
gonna win
really
this
have in
one.
this draft. Viego himself can be somewhat of a frontline, but isn't very tanky. And you've got a support who have
Wait, what is that?
control over the map.
LCK
and
card
with this
game.
Lux, your ability to actually get vision
What?
on the map is so
It's
difficult,
TCG.
it's so dangerous. You're always going to be under threat. And we've kind of swapped sides here in a lot of ways about how
Faker
T1
must be the
wanna
5-star.
fight, because they need the hard engage to come through. They
What
need
the
the
fuck?
cannon and the Viego to set up with this Cassante. But as you approach, Doran can remove that Cassante, pull him away from the rest of the team.
Shantae.
You get that pick, and T1's composition falls apart.
It's going to
It's
come down
something.
to the bot lane matchup. They have got to put down pace. They have got to put down the light.
If Zeus continues playing like this, I'm not surprised that it's 3-1
They don't get put
Genji.
on the back foot, because if a Caitlyn lane isn't able to
Cannon
snowball
to be
into again
fine.
another hard team fight composition from Genji, we might see a
I
repeat of game
think
number 1.
We could, however,
Cannon is
this
fine, but is Zeus
T1
fine?
wielding the Caitlyn Lux, and you know
Is
what?
Zeus okay?
He
I haven't
should
seen a
win
game where
lane.
they've lost
He's a Gragas.
with this particular duo. That is because they haven't ever lost with this duo. It has
It's
not
the
been figured out.
it's the
that
finals
possibility.
Zeus. The underperforming Zeus.
You better.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the rift here.
Oh, Caitlyn Lux is their undefeated roster. Oh shit.
If they lose with this, I tell you their mental will break already.
Wow,
Yeah,
that was
yeah, boy.
They better win this, I tell you.
It's gonna be like the Ezreal Karma
Very
last
definitely
series.
very happy.
Yeah, they're
about the
gonna
fact that they
mind
managed
break.
to take a game number 1, and
I'd be like, ah shit, our undefeated is defeated. What do we do?
What am I gonna do?
4-0 the Caitlyn Lux this season.
Oh damn, Chovy used that skin.
Raw numbers on the table here for Guma Carrier.
Actually, what skin is that?
They have been by far the most dominant.
It's the
2v2
forest skin.
You could say what you want about Guma's
Oh my
team
god.
fighting, as he is vulnerable.
Oh dear, there's the flash over
It's the
from
only
Goliath.
one where
Tommy's
she's
gonna
in a
land as well
bikini.
immediately.
I
He's
god dang it,
splashing
Riot,
away. Pace is
just
flashing
release
forward
pool
with the-
party already.
Oh my, the Lucent Singularity. It's going to be enough to save Gumiyushi's life, but not his flash. Pays had to use his.
And even though the trade in summoners is down, which is unfortunate for possible punish here.
How much damage?
Fake.
He just clicks the blast cone.
Yeah.
But that means that Faker might be able to zone.
Yeah, 100%.
Lol.
Can't walk up.
Yeah.
But as I was saying, the big thing is Guma can't back. And Caitlyn Lux starting off on the back foot is really big, but Chovy pays for it heavily. Not only does he lose his flash,
No,
but also
2, 3,
doing a really good job of zoning him out. He will be very far behind on experience here on the first few waves.
Yeah, lost 1 minion of experience, but those melee creeps, that's a lot more. So definitely very high value.
And Aphelios here isn't helpless in this lane at level 1, has Calibrum.
No.
Can avoid
Don't
the
go.
singularity here as he already has. And FaZe is actually going to be able to get through these first few minion waves here a lot easier because of that initial trade. So while it wasn't a kill, not completely worthless as you were saying, Chronicler. And yeah, 11-0 on this pick here, career across the LCK.
Uma has 7 shots.
One of his most famous.
No more.
Yep, and Carrier alongside him on this Lux almost every single time as well. So incredible performances for this particular duo for T1. We'll see whether it's going to be enough to claw them back into this series as, yeah, this win rate also relatively high as there's a reason why we saw the Cassante banned away and first picked here in Game 1 and then here in Game 2 respectively.
Yeah, a lot of prio on this. Now what's really interesting about this matchup is that Chovy was the one who pioneered the mid Cassante and has beaten Ahri in lane in particular in this very matchup many times. Now he'll be on the other side of the coin here playing the Ahri into the Cassante and already on the back foot because of that early level 1. We'll see how he does outside of these first few levels.
Also cool adaptation here from Faker, going for the aftershocks as opposed to Grasp. We've seen a lot of mid Cassante still go Grasp, but into the Ahri, if they space well, which with Chovy you're going to expect, actually getting Grasp procs will be fairly negligible, so not going to be the case here. And the Light might be looking for something, but with Owners missed showing, don't think they're going to go for anything. But what's big here
I forgot what I was saying just now.
Oh, Peanut. Not going to be able to steal that one away. He gets into position. Ward goes down. Not actually scried or anything like that. Let's see whether Peanut can find himself an angle. He was looking for that counter gank opportunity.
Hard to pre-6, especially with this Dredge missing, and this means he might get double scuttle.
Light Binding comes in immediately. The cleanse has to be used. The trap was down. Definitely a great reason to use that summoner spell immediately, but now Pays in a very rough spot, and Gumayusi Carrier bearing down on them.
And this is with Guma losing a flash and half his health bar. Level 1. Like, he was sipping potions, but still he wasn't sitting on a whole lot of health. And once you get to 6, the matchup really changes because you have so much more all-in potential. With particularly if Nautilus has flash, you can layer the ultimates. You have a lot of damage there, but you need to get there.
Nice.
And
if Wukong
really
is in, he's gonna get trapped.
To regain control of this lane. And for Pays in the Light, even in a scenario as good as that one,
and the tower there.
Getting an advantage, still not going to be able to, but if they can get to 6 while dropping minimal waves and dropping minimal plays,
or trap
would still be a win for them.
Now, Doran has been having a really tough time in this top matchup as well. He's nearly 20 CS behind out of mana here.
Maybe I'm like a few seconds.
Back, so he's going to have to stay here because he doesn't want to minions, but it's very difficult for him to CS them. And Owner, like I was mentioning, very likely to get double scuttle because of this attempt here from Peanut pre-6 bottom side. He has total map control here because of this top prio for Zeus. He's not reliant on a mana bar. He's a range matchup here into Doran, so Doran has to teleport early, and Zeus is just sitting pretty here on the top side of the map with the Doran's ring, or Doran's blade rather. And so T1 with some really nice early game advantages here. At 5 minutes, already stacking a 700 gold lead.
Yeah, absolutely amazing stuff here for T1 thus far.
Oh, I was saying like, is Wukong in the meta or is it just Peanut that's playing well?
Once again, business as usual.
I don't see any other Wukong playing as good as him.
With these early leads, we've seen it so many times.
I was asking that question and then my fucking Wi-Fi just
on the top side of the map. There's a reason why his name looks like Zeus. Gentlemen?
He's also got early Sork shoes here. Decides he does want to back.
If Zeus, Guma and Carrier both lose on these picks, they all meant to play.
A lot less when you actually have this early buy.
The Light relatively far, but also do note Pays also going for boots first. Generally we don't see that, but into Cade Lux.
I mean it's for all of them. That means they do these picks.
Oh dear, Delight. He's just going to flash on him. Finds the hook there as well. Flash out immediately is Pays. Not going to find too much of the damage once again.
And he didn't miss cannon, so I think it's okay.
He gets the cannon.
Yeah, nigh unkillable here on the bottom side of the map. This guy is now...
He gets the cannon!
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's what matters.
I saw that and it sort of took over my brain for a moment there. We're pretty cannon focused here in the LCK. You'll have to bear with me.
Ooh. And do note that's flash gone on cooldown, and now the 6 for Pays the Light and Peanut. Very scary. Owner knows this though. He's going to clear the wards, and if they can get a kill on FaZe, it would be huge.
Yeah, Peanut getting into position as well. So a 3v3 here on this bottom side. No flash on Gumayusi though, and FaZe has his back available. That is the big difference maker in this situation. Peanut. And stopping Gumayusi and Carrier from being able to take
scanner,
plays
I
is the
think
biggest
it's
thing. They've already managed to take one, and now Peanut getting aggressed on by Ona. There's the Conqueror proc as well. So he'll have to use that blast cone to get himself out of dodge. Wukong not able to fight against
now I'm
Diego
like
early on.
2 seconds ahead, or half a second ahead of you.
There to get away, losing all of his health, and this means that T1 with the player they already have in bottom side,
how is Kasante and hit in CS of Ari? You shit me?
They're going to be able to take the first break. Faker also holding that mid prio, and
Chovy, what you doing?
Small attempts from Genji, failing repeatedly, starting to stack up in the gold. The double scuttle, the top side prio, no assistance from Peanut in the top side because you don't have prio top, you don't have prio bottom. He has to be bottom side to keep his lane alive so they can stay relevant. They're still down 10 CS. You're down 30 CS on the top side of the map. Drake goes over, double scuttle, and just like that, 2,000 gold lead here, nearly 2,000, or sorry, 1,500, nearly 2,000 gold lead here for T1.
And what's really big is I think T1 playing it out a lot more calmly in game number 1. Where, right, like they went for the early dive, they went in with these really big aggressive plays, and they didn't necessarily need to. As he's hidden.
Yeah, level 7 is Doran going to find himself the lightning mouse, but Chovy, he's going to move in. Means man advantage here towards his top side as T1 a little bit late on the rotation. We'll see whether Genji can lock this one down.
They need to kill this fast.
It looks like the answer is yes.
Oh, they want to fight this.
Multiple times. The eye though, collecting it going to be a difficult thing.
Nice. Oh my
god. Nice. Ace in the hole comes through. That is first blood. Going to the Viego. Was it worth it is the question. And Zeus is going to go down as well. Peanut flashes to safety, but Owner is going to pick him off. Carrier
I thought Genji would gotten the thing and then get out.
Goes to Genji.
But why did
Chovy wanted to do that? That's what Chovy wanted to do, but he's barely got out.
So much control this game.
Yeah, that's probably not going to be worth it. If Chovy gets out there,
yeah, Chovy dash in to get the eye and then try to dash out.
Doran? Okay, well, Owner's taking a lot of damage here. There's the cast. Owner doesn't have any mist remaining. And there's the boop with the barrel. As solo killers, Delight is in trouble as well. Gumayusi, he's not to be messed with here.
Okay, I'm sorry, Doran. I'm sorry. I won't doubt you anymore.
Yeah, no, never again.
We know. Yeah, we get it. When you go in and Gragas, he'll get it done.
Oh, damn. What?
Congratulations to Peanut.
1,500 kills here. Now, feels like a consolation prize here in a series in a game state where you're not ahead. But if we go back to this skirmish here, where you have, as T1, there's so much team fight power in this cannon early, he's holding flash. And while the Herald is secured here, getting the eye,
that's not a good
story.
flash.
Chovy picks it up, but look at how much power you have with the Viego and the cannon ult setup. And yeah, kills going over here for Genji, but Peanut loses both his life and flash, and subsequently map control.
Good scenario.
You also see like the perfect lineup.
The kill's good until
the cannon ult being
good until Owner overextended.
Yeah, he's just
he also got the Krugs.
Bonk.
And now he's out of mana, but he gets a blue buff. What?
Small victory here, but still, you'll take it. You're 30 CS down. You have been for a while. And that is some extra gold. It's going to push you to your catalyst at least. It's going to make you a little bit, better in this laning phase, but you're just getting pushed in non-stop. And Zeus, it looks like he took game 1 personally with how much control he's put into this one. And Doran, can he survive this lane? Yes. Will he make the same impact he made in game 1? With the gold state he's in, very unlikely. But Gragas will still do Gragas things later on in the game. I think now a lot more responsibility on Peanut and Chovy.
And
I see a lot of pros using
what I like from T1 is that they kind of have calmed down after what was a very eventful early game in game number 1. And
I hear the
laning has been one of the big reasons why they've been so hard to crack in the LCK.
RE1 trigger.
AD carry supports might not be quite.
You say that the Spirit Blossom RE feels more impactful.
Immediately, how much more comfortable they slot into the board.
That's a flash forward from Carrier, looking for that light binding, gets the flash out of Doran, and more plates for Gumayusi. They're trying to trade them as Crescendum is there for pace, but the rest of T1 are going to turn up. Trying to even it out here for Genji by picking up plates in mid.
And say what
you cannot get that third plate in
performances on a lot of different picks, but when he's on the Gragas, even down on CS, he's going to be the one who absorbs the pressure.
Hook is going to connect here as they knock off Owner. He's in the
Cannon
bouncy castle
is-
forever. The hot seat
What is Owner just not
And on 3
respecting
places
that?
on the map, they're winning out. Yeah, Doran is losing some plates here, but he's going to be able to keep this turret alive. They're getting plates topside. Chovy got plates mid. They get a kill.
Owner doesn't
Jungler's
give a damn.
remove.
What?
And
Did
Genji's
Cannon
still
not have
behind in
ulti
gold
just
here,
now?
but they are really turning this one around.
And what's really big here
He has
is their
ulti, but I
split
think their
Crescendo
call
anymore,
is like,
because otherwise
oh,
they might
he
just get
died,
first
just don't
turret, but
do
right
it.
off that Zeus.
Oh
My
my
Vigil
god.
comes down. Zeus
Well,
looking
now
for
he's
even
dead.
more. Grabbing him. Not going to be snaring Zeus.
Nah, they just want the
yet,
turret.
with Delight
If they get
lurking.
first
That is
turret, it
more
will be
plates
pretty
going over to
bad.
Gen G
If-
and
if
the
because
Pace in particular.
Caitlyn
They
is
might
supposed
still
to get
that
first
turret
turret.
blood regardless here. Zeus is just zoned out.
Feels really bad actually.
This is not the Gen G we were expecting here today, as it looks like this turret is not going to fall
What
in
do you
its
mean this is not the
entirety.
Gen G that
But still, Gen
that
G
you're
getting
expecting?
control back in this game. Of course,
I
by no
completely
means
expect this
is
outcome.
this one over for T1 as Faker is going to be slowed
It's the
down.
grand finals
Mid-game
nerf
is
for
still going to be
T1.
powerful, but that
It's the
Caitlyn
grand
issue that we've
finals
talked about
T1.
so
They
many
always
times,
choke at the
she
very
still does
last.
have that trough. She still relies on snowballing the game. And yes, they've got a bunch of plates into Gumayushi. He has his Gale
What's
Force
Faker doing?
available.
What's
An
he-
item lead over Pays.
He's
Doran
doing
is
it
going to be
alone?
able to take control of this dragon.
Baker's backing and they know it.
TP's there for Zeus, but not unleashed.
All right, that first teleport.
That TP is
Dragon
Very
going
late.
down very, very low. As Chovy finds
Oh,
the charm.
God.
It is onto the jungle.
They need to just
secure
get out.
Drake
They need to
because
just
of
get
it. Warrior
Oh,
Oh my god, Faker
Oh,
what?
Peanut! Just outplaying here, but he
Oh,
is still
Wukong?
going to be moved back by the Q. Has to flash to get himself
They're fine,
out.
they
As
just need
Faker's
to get
still
out, they don't
looking
need to
for
fight.
even more.
Nice.
With that
Holy
barrel
shit.
in position, they are going to be able to complete
It's,
the hunt.
Genji, what
Nice,
was that?
successful. Chovy hits the crucial charm.
Oh,
Owner
this
steals
ward.
those.
Oh, do they have a ward?
No.
That is so much value. The light binding.
Wait, how did they know? What?
Peanut going to get out as okay. There
Oh,
is the final.
Oh my god.
Peanut,
They are
that
tilted,
was
they are
so
tilted,
silly.
they mental
And
boom
now
again.
Zeus should be able
They
to
all
punish
mental
the
boom
Lightning
again.
Flashes. Pace wants down the kill.
What is that
And a
flash,
comes
bro?
out as well.
Ari?
Now Chovy,
They-
he's looking
they
for the
mental
charm. He
boom, they
does
mental
find
boom.
it,
It's
but
over.
It's not enough to save Pace, but still, Zeus is going to go down.
What am I watching? A series of outplays here going over from Gen G, but this just stems the bleeding
3-0
because at the end of the
Gen
day,
G.
T1's
It's not even
still with the
3-1
gold
anymore,
lead
it's
here.
3-0.
They are going to pick up first turret blood,
And
but it
people
could have
be
been
like,
a lot
hey,
worse.
I
And
predicted
if they don't get
3-0.
that first turret blood, it
But
actually
just
would
not
have
the
been a
correct
bit of a
team.
disaster. That made sure that they still had in gold, but the skirmishes are going Gen G's way, and that's something that I think if you're a T1 fan is going to worry
What's
you
the-
because
oh my God,
Gen
the
G's
hex
team
pick.
fighting composition again is incredible, and look at that, look at that.
They're
So that's
over
a
aggressive
hex
for no
deck,
reason,
so
and then
every
here
single
Owner is
play
just
is going to
disrespectful.
matter, and
They could have just
Cannon doesn't
ulted
have power yet.
immediately.
the light and Doran between the first few rounds.
No,
of
I think that's the
playoffs and now
spectator
could
bug.
not look more
But if
confident.
He has ulti, he just doesn't use it.
Confidence that these players are
Oh,
moving
what is
across
that
the map
ward?
with us. Peanut
How do they
sneaking
know
suspicion
actually?
here.
Doran, so calm too, holds the recall, and will get it off. Peanut
That was a
sets up the
beautiful
second
sidestep.
knock up here.
No, he
Calling out
didn't
has no flash,
sidestep
And
anything.
then they re-engage
No, he sidestepped the
here
last
with
round.
Hayes. And yeah, there are
No, he still
casualties
got
here on
hit.
the side of Gen G, and
No,
the
you,
turret will go
no, I'm
down.
pretty sure you dodged
But
it.
it's a worrying sign.
No,
for
he still got
Outsiders
hit
to
by
go
the Lux
later
out.
on, because
He
in
still
the
got
early
hit,
game
he still
here,
got hit.
This is not a Fed Aphelios. This is not a Gragas with more items.
If
and
he
Chosen
got
with
hit, he
agency
died
later
already,
on.
man. I
If this
think
continues
he
to go
lost
like
it.
this, the gold lead won't matter when we get to 30 minutes in this game.
It won't. I do want to shout out Carrier there, who was able to so valiantly land so many of these skill shots in order to keep T1 in that
Yo, I
situation.
think Peanut's like on fire
Really
right now,
well played. His Lux, as you mentioned, Wolf, is absolutely amazing. But he's going to have
Yeah,
to
we're
be
watching
at
And they
his
still
goal
keep
in order to
giving
make
him
sure that this
Wukong,
one works
like, what?
out. Another
It's like
worrying
Sheko
sign
clones
is
with
the
the
fact
amount
that
of hits
Gumayusi
he's
has
doing
none
with
of these
his
kills.
E.
Extra
I mean
money
W.
on Caitlyn can be so valuable that he's going to have to find some in this mid game if he can. Still, T1 with an advantage. Doran going to try and even that out.
I still remember last year you said
individual
you don't trust T1 in a game 5 situation.
I think that this
He
time,
ain't
because
gonna
they do still
get
have
to a
lead,
game 5.
when it comes to gold, they should be able to hold on to map control for a lot longer. And when it comes to picking up individual champions, yes, Gen G's comp is still strong with Charm and Hook,
What
but
was that?
T1 can isolate isolate
Gragas
targets with
did
Faker.
destroy the
Can
tower pretty
have
fast.
an amazing stun lock situation going on with the Lux, the Caitlyn, and the
Well,
Viego.
there's no playthings
They're able to
already, of
find
course.
those, or if Zayas can get a big
That fat
flank, there are still ample of opportunities here, but it's all going to come down to how the team fights go. How is T1 actually going to be able to fight around these dragons?
The
And
day
a lot of
T1
it will come
Faker
down
lost to a
can
furry.
Luma and Carrier consistently find that prio on the Caitlyn that even
What do you
though
mean?
the
Faker's
kills
the
have gone
original
away,
furry.
Still very fat in this game.
Absolutely, 30 CS in the lead Outer turret now under fire. If they get another one, that is huge. Oh, the layering of CC is fantastic. Doran, he takes a drink, and he's going to walk it off now.
And Toby's going to get top turret, it looks like here, as T1 are completely grouped in mid with no objective up. So the lack of success here on that first turret kill attempt really comes back to bite them, and Doran has done such a good job of buying time here.
Genji's doing the same things they usually
on the bottom
do,
side. Here are some additional
doing it better.
Say it was taken out earlier.
Yeah, macro has
maybe
always
set up
been
a
like
dive
this. They
here
just
as Doran
give up
decides to
like
come back
turrets
over.
and
There's no
then
vision here in the
they
jungle.
take other turrets around the lane.
Oh, what is that?
Teleporting
TP.
nicely done by T1.
Well, Carrier is going to be locked into the wall, just barely mispositioning the cast there is Doran.
I see that
Instead,
blue bubble.
It was not. As Genji going to hold on to the turret for the moment. I like the idea for T1. A lot of money in that inner.
I see that blue.
If Genji mess up and you get the inner, that's big, but it also means that they should be able to get control of the bottom
I see
half
that
of the
blue
river,
bubble,
shove
and I
up
don't
the
like
waves.
it.
Although we do see now Carrier and Guma still had to back, so they will actually be a little bit late here to the objective.
On the arena.
Gives Genji the opportunity to set up vision, but they are looking for any stragglers. Doesn't seem to be the
Ari
case.
trusts
We know
in
they
Jesus
obviously
too much.
doing a thorough check here.
And critically, there's no flash for Zeus.
But
There
Furries
is
go to
flash
him.
for Peanut. And these are the two big engaged champions in these compositions, especially
Just
for Peanut
kidding.
at range, to look for follow-up here on this Caitlyn. Caitlyn also has flash at this moment in time, but Genji not only faster
can
on the
force
Drake
the
here, but
fight.
arguably the better
The
setup
only
here.
goalie
Doran
is
can still
bot
make an impact
lane.
with that result, and it's coming up soon.
For T1.
Yeah, a lot of vision available though with that Rift Cutler that it was taken by T1. Zeus in flank
Faker, what are you
position,
doing?
unseen for now. As Genji, this is dangerous. T1
What is Zeus
biding
not
their time
flanking?
for the moment. The
Why
line
is he
of
in
traps
front?
has been set up. Faker doesn't find the Q, but he can fish
trap.
for another one of those. In a little bit of time.
Zeus' flash is coming up. That could be the timing they want to engage.
There's no
with the
way
Maelstrom.
Yeah,
there's no
some
way
singularity
Ola can
coming
steal
down.
this.
A fair bit of poke here available. As
Ari
Faker's just going to
needs
move in.
to
Peanut gonna have to use that Cyclone. He secures the Drake as they just bring Doran out. But he
Zeus
goes
doing?
golden. Zay is now in a little bit of trouble, but Peanut is going to burn down the Lux, collects the kill. Thanks to that one, and now
Faker's dead. Faker's dead.
Can Pace do anything there?
Oh.
Definitely. As wow, Faker almost falls down, but still.
Oh, he got Pace.
Pace going to get locked down
Carrier's
by
off
the
the
final
wing.
spark, and now
Just
the
E.
flanking Lux.
Carrier just
The
oh.
scariest, the most deadly, the life binding.
Oh.
Range Pace locks down the cannon, but
Oh,
Truby and Pace
my-
is still going to die. Gumiuchi grabbing the double.
What a moment here for Pace.
Zeus
Straight
only
back the
outs
kill.
one
But once again,
person and
Genji
it's the
getting
freaking
objective,
Gragas.
but at a high
Didn't you see
cost.
that
And
shit?
T1, their gold lead is multiplying at this point.
And
getting kills like this.
Zeus.
And
Like,
the
what
fact
the-
that
what the
Peanut's
hell
able
is
to
he
secure
doing?
this Drake is really just a 50-50
Look at Zeus.
essentially, as Owner is rotating over. Meanwhile,
What happened?
Doran?
Yeah, Doran looking for Gumiuchi. These traps are not going to go down, but he respects
Oh,
the
shit.
teleport. And it looks like Gumiuchi will survive for now. Body slam to get Doran out of there. Not even able to get a control ward.
I look at Zeus here.
And when
Like,
we
why is he in
fast forward
front?
to the
He should
future,
be flanking
if we
from
could,
the
we
back.
know if this ends up being
And
worth
look
it
at
or
him,
not
he
for
just out one
Genji, because
person.
this could be huge in terms of
No,
setting up
that's
for that
not.
soul.
I
So
don't
point
know
No,
why
he
blank,
didn't
if
even
we
out
don't
anyone
do it.
because
But
Wukong got out.
At this moment in time, looks to be way better for T1. That could
It's
come back
only
to bite them
everyone
later,
else
but at
that's
this moment in time,
performing
you're taking
at a
advantage, T1.
Crucial there are two things. One, Pace doesn't actually hit his ultimate.
Oh, they're
And with
fighting
that,
right now?
the Moonlight Vigil, a really big team fighting tool, not available.
Chovy missed everything.
And secondly, Carrier actually gets the kill on Peanut, which is for T1 the sign to keep on going. And there's a reason why Guma and Carrier have not been allowed to get this duo. Look at that 100% kill participation between the two of them. And even though the laning phase was
Thank God
somewhat
both of
selfish
them
by
are
Genji
2-0 and 5.
getting an early summoner out of from Guma, when it
Carrier
comes
needs
to the team
to be the
fighting,
secondary
just
carry
complete-
because Zeus is not
Yeah, they
carry.
definitely are. And Carrier is just so good at Lux. It is crazy. And then Gumiuchi always there on the follow-up. Every time those bindings land, the trap is down. Cupcake in position.
What is this?
And
Finals
someone
Zeus
is
form.
on critical health almost immediately afterwards. This
4v5
duo,
yeah,
fantastic at Siege, but also
What is he
demonstrated
doing?
right here beautifully. They are fantastic at locking down
He's
single
high.
targets, just going for that
He
big
is
potential.
high.
Peanut comes over, clears out some control ward in this Baron pit.
And this
the T1 Baron now up on the table.
Yeah, and this is the amount of control that you really want to have as a game.
Imagine if there's another player in the LCK called Kratos.
Wise here, where they can threaten Baron starts. They can safely just push all of these lanes and not be afraid of a wraparound from Chovy or Peanut's flash engage, right? And you have this Lux that's so fragile. We talked about it earlier.
Oh damn, that's like half health.
The ability for a Lux to clear vision from behind is so low, but from ahead she becomes oppressive because not only does she
took out the shield,
but she also can threaten anyone who tries to come in and clear it themselves because there's so much follow-up and so much.
If there's no shield, he half health low.
Jovi's on the side with teleport.
You always have shield,
that's pretty much this entire time, but T1 are getting more.
Now, see whether these answers are actually going to be there as light binding collected by Delight, but of course, not going to be too worried about it. Has the Titan shield available.
I think that's the rule,
going to crash in this top lane in a turret.
The mini shield.
Respite being bought by
it gets bigger the higher the level.
Wouldn't be surprised if Zeus actually goes for Death Cap Max.
Oh, now he has BT. Oh, no.
As long as he can trade
damage dealt is highest is you.
He's already winning, right? Because one of the big things
I
here
have
is
full
that
AP, man.
Genji composition as we get to late,
but his ults were ass.
He's being able to do damage. And with the map control that T1 has, and Zeus having Sword, Pan Boots, Void, and his Rocket Belt, he's effectively doing true damage to anyone that doesn't have MR, which Peanut has some on his Mercs, but that's not that impressive. Chovy has a Banshee's Field, but everyone else is going to get shredded by this cannon. And if
the only guy that you need to shred is basically Aphelios, and then you win.
How the map state is right now doesn't seem very likely, but what is crucial is
he missed the can.
If Genji get a soul point, it changes so much of the equation because you cannot risk an Aphelios getting a Hextech soul.
Yeah, it's massive because it buys more time for Phase to scale up as well. And this is where that last Drake fight that T1 won the team fight in, but Genji were able to secure with Peanut. It becomes worth it if you can actually secure this. Your position in the game is much more relevant. If you lose this one and it goes to a 2-2 Drake, T1 are just winning in every other
BT
regard.
healing or something.
There's a fight you need to win, but you don't have prio whatsoever. That hasn't changed. T1 have just given up the top side of the map, let Chovy farm there for free. There's no gold for him to get with an outer turret. That was taken out earlier. So it's at no cost to them to just say, we're putting all the focus on bottom side here. We have Baron Vision.
They can go Baron.
Chovy can't make any plays top side. Now we're on this Drake, and you deny this one, you're in such a good position.
Well, light binding not going to find the target is now
how
not
did
going to get
Guma
snared.
not get
Absolutely fantastic play here by Gumayushi defensively on this Caitlyn. And the thing
that
I want to talk about,
like
guys, is the fact that last game we had him on the poke Varus. Oh, sorry, the on-hit Varus that was just getting picked off left, right, and center. Now he has massive range. He is a late game monster on this Caitlyn. We're going to see him going up against Pace very evenly this time. As we're looking for it, but the Drake is just going to be given over. 2 apiece for both of these teams.
And you can, you can sense the desperation there from Chovy as well, where he uses his ult. Guma doesn't even have to use Skill Force. Like, he has Skill Force, he has his Flash, right?
I mean, it's better than you just walking back and forth. If you know you cannot fight, then you should just at least start already.
Very reliant on either hard engaging through Doran and the Light, but that wasn't really an option there. And Chovy trying to get something going doesn't work, and the positioning of Guma has been one of the reasons why this Caitlyn, as of right now, is undefeated.
Faker is just constantly following him around in the jungle here. Whenever there's a moment where they don't have vision, they think Peanut or Chovy might be in the similar area. Faker's just making sure, shadowing him, that
almost 1k,
so he can just continue to
1k shield.
And that mobility we talked about, he already has. He has Flash still because he's under no threat. It's just really easy for them to say, okay, now we have 2 Drakes, and if nothing goes wrong here, this game is just on the path to our victory, tying it up 1-1. And they can come over here, clear up some more Baron Vision, and continue to actually now play around top side,
only
the
going
Drake
for
is already taken.
Well, Genji with full information of what's going on in the Baron. Of course, they have faced T1 many times before, so they know that if it's past 20 minutes, T1 are going to do Baron. Like, if it's on the map, that's where they're going to be. That is their #1 priority. Delight going to hook nothing, just checking to see whether anyone is sitting in the brush. Opportunistic hooks, you love to see it.
Yeah, free farm here for Zeus, and he buys that first rod. And he is in a great position damage-wise here. If he goes for the death cap, as you mentioned, Chronicler. And he's just sitting there buying these components. Now they're grouped up for Baron, and Genji has to respect this, and they can just
bot side T1 is just carrying Zeus.
So many things that Genji has to deal with all at once.
And 2 factors here. 1, the spikes. Faker just getting his Stone Blades, Guma getting his IE. If you thought he chunked before, just wait until you see land some autos as there's the Baron.
There's no way they're fast
they start it up
enough.
as soon as they get that control wall
Peanut
down.
is there.
Information
Chovy
now
is
given.
there.
Peanut on vision
Oh,
now.
oh,
Finds the
shit.
flank. Can he get it? There it is. The delivery, but Gumi
Oh,
still
okay.
after so long. But Chovy
GG.
will be able to take him down. Pace still alive.
Whoa,
Flashes
Cannon got
away
one
from
shot by
Ona.
Doran.
And in the back line, it is havoc being wrought on T1. Another charm will connect.
Diego got reset.
Now Doran has to get out of there. We need to see the carry from you. Pace is over the wall. Is carrying.
Oh, Pace is alive.
And Pace will do it.
3-0.
The double kill, and can Genji now get the Baron?
Doran
They turned it
Gragas
around.
is
He's
too
popping
good.
up here. His positioning is so good. He avoids
Wait, was this
the ultimate
Doran
there
the
from
last
Keria.
time
And
they
once you
fought?
were able to secure that pick onto Guma, the
Javan
fight becomes so
Tank
simple.
Javan, huh?
FaZe lives, T1 lose that fight, and that's going to be Baron. And there's nothing that Keria can do to look for a steal here. But the performance of this player who's looking for his first title here in his first tournament is just phenomenal.
And it's Pace that knocks him down, but it's Doran again that sets it up.
That what I
This
saw,
man
I
deserves
saw
so much
Nautilus
credit
put it. It's
for
actually
being,
Delight
and I
MVP.
think fairly so considered the weak point of Gen G. And look at this engage.
Uma
When
got
your
100
coach
to
is
0.
score, you can do things like this on Dragon Chronicle.
And Baker just so desperately wishes he could have blocked that charm, but he's just not able to. I think that Guma dies regardless here. Peanut buys so much space here for Pace on the right side of the
Ona
fight.
got a reset.
Baker is tanky. Once he
There
all
was
out,
hope, actually.
Pace could delete him.
Oh my, and Pace actually using a loss
But
to Severum on
the
way
main
to
damage
completely
is
heal
Uma
up.
and he got busted.
Stays alive.
The slightest of sidesteps to avoid the final spark that would have been so much damage. Don't know whether it would have been enough to kill, but still.
It's a top gap this
Movement
series.
absolutely amazing from this player who's under so much pressure. In this game,
Cannon
even
got
more than
slapped.
game number one. As the
No,
gold
Zeus
lead now
got
moves
slapped.
ever so slightly in favor of Gen G, but still, 2 minutes left on the Baron. 58 seconds on
His
this
positioning
Hextech
is so
Drake.
poor.
For both of these
didn't
teams,
see
and we have
what
to
he did last
reiterate.
fight. I only saw him
You get
got
Hextech
slapped
Soul
by
with
Doran.
either of these compositions.
It doesn't matter who.
It's like he
win the game.
outed
Yeah.
3
That is
people,
how
but
he's
there's
sort
not
of
enough
ending. And
damage.
The Baron buff
Because
here should be
Guma
able to
died.
guarantee that Gen G
Everyone
doesn't
was
have
like
to
one
cry over
hit.
this. There should be almost no way T1 takes this. And I mean, right now at this moment in time, T1 are faster grouped for this. And Gen G, I mean, this is a fight you need to win, and you're not going to have that same opportunity that you had last time. It's very unlikely that you're going to delete the enemy AD carry instantly at the beginning of the fight, so you still need to be able to prove you can win a 5v5 fight even if you can't pick that AD carry.
Should we just take
now they're setting up that prio.
Should just do
The
this.
Drake is spawning here at 15.
They don't need to take the dragon. Just take
desperately want to
powers.
hold on to this mid lane turret because it gives Guma so much safety, and in general T1 way easier to fight for mid prio. But do note that it does.
Why does
cost
Zeus
them a
always
bot lane
do this
turret.
every
Chovy
finals?
Gonna have his Shadow Flame
Actually,
available.
every
4
finals.
items on
Level
this Ahri.
17.
And this is such an important fight
It's
here.
a
If
mid
Gen G
cap.
can get soul points,
Is it though?
T1's game becomes so much harder.
No, it's
And
Zeus.
Faker is
But actually,
two full
Faker
items
also,
behind
like,
this
feels
Ahri,
like
and
that
of course
he's not
they are
doing
cheap
anything,
items that Chovy has
No,
built
because he's the
this
front
time
line,
around,
he's
but
not the
still,
carry.
He does have a
Faker's not
huge
the carry
advantage.
this game.
Soul point now on the
It's-
table. They
it's
do
Zeus
so much
and-
damage to
and
this Drake,
Guma.
but T1 not going to go down without a fight, as it is going to be secured by Gen G. They look for the
Faker,
flank,
oh
but
god.
the hook is going to connect. The charm connects as well, and Faker
Well,
is just obliterated.
I will not deny that it's a top
T1
gap,
no
but
response
I feel like it's
to this
also a mid
dragon.
gap.
Kind of a bizarre fight here for T1 because you're trying to flank on one hand as Faker, but the collapse is so easy from Gen G. That's exactly how they want to take out the Cassante, is just collapse on him. You set up a trap, so you've discouraged Gen G from moving left
No
in
one's
this fight. And in
protecting
fact, once they take the
Guma and
Drake,
Kera,
they're naturally
actually.
going to move towards Faker, who's then spotted and collapsed on. And T1
No, you
just looks very
see,
desperate.
Zeus
Even
is
Guma
always
trying
in
to look for
front.
the
He
Q here for
he
a
should be
potential
the one
steal,
flanking.
But you're not bars this time.
Like, why is he in front?
And what's crucial here,
Oh, we got another
At
fight
this
in
point,
line
I
here
feel
as
like
the outer
it's the
turret is
team
going to
that's
be
telling
taking
him to be
carrier.
frontline.
Just demanding the respect on this. Lux is going to be able
I
to get
think
himself
Guma
out.
and
Yeah,
Kera
but
is
absolutely
telling
fantastic. But
Zeus to
Faker,
be their front-
he is
to be their
respawning now,
front
but
line.
they
They will do
will
the damage.
take 2 turrets off the back of that. One
Then
inner
why the
still
fuck will
remains,
you
but
play
that is
full
it for
AP
T1
cannon
with the
then?
outer turrets.
And we have seen
You're supposed to
again in the series
burst
against
the
KT
entire
that
team.
T1 have the ability to come back from deficits.
There's
In
a
the KT
reason
series,
why
they were down
Genji
even
is not
further.
scared.
Faker
He's
found a
in.
miracle play.
He's fucking in
But
front.
with how the game is going right now, anything short of that, I don't know if it's going to be enough. Gen G's composition plays out so nicely, right? You have a beefy
Like, have you
front
seen
line.
any
You have
other
so much
Korean
damage.
cannon go in
Both
front?
your
Nobody
AP
plays him
damage
in front.
between
He's
Doran
always the
and Chovy,
flanker.
are very very hard to deal with, but then you also have a monster-fed Aphelios here in FaZe.
Every time in finals, their brains suddenly turn off. What the fuck?
Also staving off a Hextech Soul is incredibly hard.
If you wanna say they don't have a real tank.
Like, I
actually.
like
They don't have
what
a real
Zeus is doing with this
front
build, right?
line.
This is maximizing the amount of max damage.
They use their role switch. Faker is the front line. Zeus should be.
I mean, like Asante is not actually a
is going to be as easy as find a flank as Doran. He's going to do just that. Gumayushi does QSS though as Chovy finds the angle. Doesn't find the down though. As now Faker is looking to protect his teammates, but Zeus is going to be picked off. And now Faker's going to get body slammed. Chovy's just dancing around the fight. But Moonlight Vigil crucially goes wide, and Genji will have to back away.
Gap is so huge.
This is like Faker's TP in old times, man. What? Suddenly TP into 4 people, what?
And Genji once again just striking.
You see Ona looking frustrated.
They might be able to look for even more here. Guma's
what are they doing every finals?
Who is this
Doran?
I have no idea.
Where has he been? Where did he come from?
I think he read Reddit. He made the mistake last night and he heard what people were saying. And he's like, well, I'll just have to show you. As Faker looks for the Q, doesn't find it there on a pace. He's going to connect his
own. He's 1 and 5, bro.
Just to try and disengage here from T1 and Genji. I mean, their wallets are so thick right now, they'll go back to base and they'll send Boris to collect his wares.
And until this moment, I was going to say, it's still winnable for T1. I think there's still a chance.
Even Keria missed the Q, man.
Doran's able to get on top of Guma.
You're not supposed to Q like
but he's now out of the fight. Chovy is behind enemy lines, and Zeus with this mistake of teleporting into the fight to try to turn it. It's already over. It's done. There's nothing you can do. And Guma
Zeus TP way too late.
Before this, I was going to say, there's flash on Guma. Zeus has flash engage. The next fight should be T1's if they play it correctly, but it's their last chance. But they don't even get that chance. Doran says no.
One thing that's big is no flashes on Doran and Pace. So T1, if they can use that, maybe they can try to test for this soul. But
they know it's finals and then their mental boom.
No contest is going to be possible.
Yeah. And if that's the 5-head play wolf, then
Peanut
oh my goodness, imagine that, like, do anything to get Pace's flash so we can win a team fight and get a Baron. But let's see whether they can do it as Peanut looking for that flank angle already. Faker's taking so much damage. Has to get himself out as there is another cast to get the mini summon collective with the
He has flash. What is he doing?
Amazingly done from Delight and from this Gragas as Faker goes all out, but he's going to have to get out, but he's not going to be able to. Chovy picks up that kill. Luna's going to pick up a minion wave to desperately try and save the base, but it's not going to save them from the wrath of this Genji Baron.
Easy Baron pickup here now for Genji. And once again, this is the fight that T1 had to win. They had to win it, but they're picked Faker's off on his own.
Why is he still
and that's that. It's not just Baron.
Getting the wave.
Because there's no way to steal it.
They can go straight towards a Hextech Soul, and Genji might be looking to go 2-0.
Look, okay, if you want a front line, don't pick Cassante. Cassante is not really a tank.
With this composition. And
oh, you know what? Genji's not playing scared because they always see Zeus.
Just by pushing Guma
Zeus is always in front of them. It's like, okay, Zeus is in front. We don't need to be afraid of our flank. We can just play forward.
And Zeus is like, I'm trying to set up the ult, so then I can have my Caitlyn come through and
try to set up what? Oh, you're in front.
He instantly then dies when he's caught by the Nautilus ultimate from Delight. And Guma's just not even in the fight. Doesn't matter how many items you have if you can't actually do damage because T1's front line, or rather Genji's front line is too immense.
Wolf, the problem is not...
And that's a free Hextech Soul, gentlemen.
It's not because he's trying to set up, he's not even setting up. He's not hiding in the bush, he's always in vision.
Without an Elder, which is the silliest thing
they should be able to push the end.
And now they're looking for it. They do have traps set up, but this mid lane is completely open. Doran and Peanut able to freely move in.
Why does Zeus play like this every final?
T1 holding the line as best they can. Oh, that is just gigantic.
Oh!
Guma is going to be picked off yet again. Zeus trying to defend. They blow up Peanut before he can really do anything, but the base is still in shambles. Doran in trouble. Can they get that pick off as well? That would be huge. But oh my goodness, Pays every auto attack.
Where was Zeus's
doing $1 million damage.
I don't see
it. He can proc the Hextech with his Calibrum so easily.
I just look at the top left corner. His ult is on cooldown again. What?
The follow-up is just so difficult. The power of Hextech Soul. T1 at least survived.
Oh, Moonlight Vigil comes down. Okay, Carrier, can he survive? He's like, I'm just clearing vision.
If he gets hit by the Q, he's dead.
Let me do my job, okay?
Surviving, though, is not the goal. It's not the win condition here for T1, and dropping 2 games in this series. Zeus is 1-6. It's the elephant in the room. He's been caught so many times this game.
Faker, what?
He's inside the Baron pit, but Faker all on his own. Delight in position once again. The charm's gonna land. The dredge line's there. He mitigates the CC. Goes all out against the Nautilus. Can Faker survive this? There are so many Genji members bearing down on him, and Faker accepts his fate. He needs
Faker
to
just
that
running it down.
Wait, why did he go there? What?
Because Owner
Feels
is
like we might have
there.
an upset on our hands if this continues, gentlemen.
It's
The whole team mental block.
like
Finals T1 is not regular split T1.
Yeah, there are two outcomes here. Either we get one of
What
the
the-
sickest finals of all time, and T1 bounce it back, or Gen
Oh,
G,
Carrier.
unanimously agreed upon to be the heavy underdog here today, are going to take a
Not
commanding
everyone
lead.
picked T1, you know. You know there was a short clip before the game starts, and they interviewed the LEC and LCS players,
oh my god!
and they all said T1 will win.
The body
Even
slam
Caps
black
put-
double kill for Chovy.
Regular split T1 will win, but not Finals T1. Finals T1 will not
on
win.
this game number 2, and T1, they are not out of it yet. There is
Oh
still
my
hope,
god.
but it is hanging by a thread. Match point here for Genji.
This is an outclassing of solo lanes by Gen G in the laning phase. I'll give it to you, Zeus.
Faker's
I'll give
face
it
like,
to you,
ah,
Faker.
shit, here
Zeus
we
was
go
up 30 CS this game. He had total prio and control. Look at how the fights are going. Look at the impact Doran has made on low eco, and his impact is way
me the
larger.
T1
Tony's
fans
impact
crying.
way larger than Faker's in this game. And we are on the precipice, match point for Gen G here, of the biggest upset we have had in a long time in the LCK.
And have you seen Space Jam?
This is
I think
the
we're gonna need
end.
to call that timeout. We're gonna get a bit of Faker's secret stuff, and we're gonna
Hey, yo,
have to
that
make
sounds so
sure
wrong.
that everyone on T1 is playing
Faker's
to their
secret stuff,
maximum
bro.
moving into game number 3. Change up that strategy, maybe ban a Gragas, because Doran has just been
I feel like it's
good
not just
on this
Gragas
pick.
though,
Force
it's
him
the
to play
Wukong as
something
well.
else. But
It's
man, it
not
looks like
the
he's gonna have to be back to
Gragas,
the
it's
drawing board
the
and
it's
just
the
play your best League of
player.
Legends here
Zeus
for
is
T1.
playing like shit
I wouldn't be
again.
shocked if they end up going to red side. Like something needs to change. You
It's
need
like
to
what is
make
his
a big
problem? 2
switch
full
up.
years
If
of
it's blue side
playing
again,
finals. He
and
went to
Gen G
3 finals. All 3 of them he
TPS are saying,
underperformed.
I think
I
that
want
the
to
only
see
lane that
Benji
is
get
looking
mad.
like themselves
Like
is
Koma.
specifically the bot lane, which
Yeah.
is Guma and Keria. But they're doing great, sure, but Paze and Delight
at the
are not giving
damage.
them any openings. So if Guma and Keria get a couple of 1,000 gold lead, but the rest of the map is in complete shambles, Zeus dying in
Actually,
the 1v1.
Kasante's not a good pick here as well.
That Peanut had,
I feel
has,
like
and the
Kasante
same
is
for
like-
Chovy, making so many big
Explain.
plays.
It's not a traditional
play?
tank.
And
It's like-
alternatively,
he's a
maybe put Faker on something where he has a little bit more
tank
control, a little bit more
slash-
agency. You know,
slash
something like
ganker
LeBlanc, because he's played
slash
utility in the
flanker.
Veigar and the Cassante, and he's been picked in the
It's
beginning
not.
of team
It's
fights
not
so
that
many
tanky
times.
actually.
This is unprecedented,
I would
gentlemen.
still think
we
it's
are going to
Zeus,
go to a
man.
short break.
It's
when we
not-
get back,
I'm not saying
Oh,
Zeus
it's
didn't do
fully
anything
Chovy.
wrong.
the
but
second Gen G
I'm
win
saying,
of
like,
the day
Team
to
Kong,
see whether they can find an avenue
also,
to
there
give
is a
us
little
those silver
problem.
scrapes. Give us a more than 3-0 series,
No, the-
gentlemen. We'll see you after the
You
break.
see, every team fight Zeus is always in vision. Genji's playing. Genji's not playing like, oh shit, where's the cannon? Where's the cannon? Genji's playing like, oh, there's the cannon. We just go in. That's their whole problem. You see any other Korean cannon, they will just hide in bush, and then come out from an angle, and burst the whole team. Zeus all of a sudden is like, I'ma just stand in front and poke with Q. He's playing like Ari, he's not playing like Cannon.
Like I said, it's probably because they feel like they don't have a proper front line. I mean, they're playing Caitlyn and Lux. They feel like they need people in front of them, like their teammates in front.
Even so, that's
Even
not
it's probably the team
Zeus's.
call, I know lah.
That's not his.
I
See, he
think
got hit by
lost
the Lux
man.
R. He got hit by Lux R, he just didn't die.
The clone got hit. I don't know, man. Whatever.
Like when I see this Zeus flash, this melee range flash, I'm like, he's tilted. And this fight is just Guma and Keria trying to save the game, but Zeus is too damn heavy.
Oof.
Like, look at him. Why is he in front of Pace?
Oh.
I haven't seen the first game, but it's probably a Zeus gap again. Let me just go look at the I'm looking at the YouTube.
First game, I think everyone played better than T1. I feel like Chovy won lane, and Wukong got better flanks. The bot lane also.
What, in 2 games it's Gragas, Wukong and Ahri? Are you shitting me?
지금 기회가 그 상태 없으니까 좀 세게 해야 돼. 천천히 해 그러니까 라인 들어오고. 야 캐틀. 야 캐넨 풀공 조심. 가는. 안줘. 블럭. 나이스.
They see that fat boy E flash coming, they be like, ah shit.
단판 잘하자. 단판에 끝내자.
Wow, is this the future? In 1 hour?
Yeah.
And now,
근데 사실 지킨다라는 느낌은 잘 안 들고요.
Is this the clip you're talking about? Or
아니고
is it?
멤버진들도 막 바뀌다 보니까
You mean the LCS, LCC?
한다기보다 그냥 새로운 도전 자리, 팬들이
No.
없다?
You see them
느낌이
here?
더 강한 것 같아.
There was a clip before, they were like, everyone showing everyone predicting who's gonna win. Then all of them say T1. I think it was Perks. I saw Perks like he was saying, I think Genji might win, and then he laughed, and then but and then he said T1 win.
좋은 성적을 잘 내가지고 지금 이렇게 결승까지
I actually think it's Genji win.
우승 꼭 한번 해보고 싶습니다. 온라인으로 경기하다가 이제 경기장에서 할 수 있어서 설렜었습니다. 이렇게 강팀에 와가지고 경기한다는 게 좀 신기했었고 어떤 느낌인지 궁금했었는데 많이 달랐던 것 같아가지고 그런 부분이 좀 신기했던 것 같아요. 페이즈 선수가 좀 많이 조용하다고 생각했는데 수환이가 가장 지내다 보니까 좀 정상은 아닌 것 같아가지고 I was watching like the match when they were like the 6K goal to 8K goal yep and then I go to toilet a bit and then they got like Genji got better. I'm like what the fuck this happened? I was like away for like a minute. 재밌는 친구랑 좀 알았어요. Is this the legendary T1 troll at the end?
A true for 2 straight years.
I
was like, oh, is this the legendary troll? I was literally legit like away for to go to the toilet like 1-2 minutes and then I come back. Genji got Baron and then like Fate Twister something and then they all keep trolling until the end.
저희 팀이 좀 긴장하는 선수가 별로 없었던 것 같은데 너무 편하게 게임했던 것 같아요. 현준이 형이 좀 하는 것 같고.
I don't know what's going on in their mental, but it's like,
좀 긴장할 수도 있을 것 같아요.
I feel like it's Zeus mostly. Like Zeus is the one that mental break the most.
And then you guys keep saying about that Zeus that maybe he was paid under the table to lose at the end of the match. It's been 3 years straight. See, conspiracy theory.
아쉬웠다 조금. 일단 개인적으로 저한테 좀
That's how the fuck do you keep fucking up for like 3 straight years?
충분히 이길 수 있었는데 약간 이기지 못해가지고.
I mean, 3 straight finals. He's always underperformed the shit.
Yeah, sure, he got paid something now. He got paid
지겹기도 한데 상대도 지겨워하지 않을까 싶어서 별 생각 없습니다.
저는 수환이 이미지 변신을 노릴 때가 아닌가.
저는 페이지 선수 뭘 시키고 싶은 건 없는데 그냥 뭐.
Do you not know what the fuck is going on with yourself? If you keep doing this.
재밌는 거 한번 해줬으면 좋겠어.
He's gonna say the team is the problem, not me.
살면서 살아가지고 결승 무대는 처음인데 엄청 설레고 기대되고 꼭 이기고 싶습니다. 3번 경기해가지고 졌었는데 이번엔 꼭 이길 수 있도록 하겠습니다. 작년 서머 결승전 때 기억을 살려 팬도 깨어봐.
And T1 is the opposite. They win everything and lose the most important match.
Only shaker himself because he can lose something twice in a row.
At this point, it's like it's like what? T1 will always get joked on, and this time there's no defense.
Even the comments like shitting on T1. Trash one. Oh my god. T1 suck 3-0.
I feel like it's actually gonna be 3-0, man. They lost in their undefeated picks. Now they don't know what to do anymore.
Pretty much. And then when I saw the Faker going at the towers, like man, even Fakers look at someone like tilted now. Like he going so deep.
I'm pretty sure I know what T1's game 2 plan is. It's like, okay, this game we maximize our success rate by playing our comfort champs, and then just win this game, okay? And then they fucking lose.
I feel like maybe it's a big break play. They lose like 3 years game, and then the next year everyone thought they're gonna lose. They come out on top. It's like the underdog team, for real.
T1 is never the underdog.
No man, because people keep assuming they lose so much like three years in a row, and then next year sure they're gonna lose, and then they somehow win. For real. And then they lose again. Oh, the T1 fans just fucking dying.
Problem is like what Roy says. That's never gonna happen. Even when they were not expected to win, they still have the fan votes still is higher than the other team.
What I'm saying is like this one like the fans, like trying to copium so much. Oh, trust me, next year they're gonna come back so hard, and they're like, they're like going to the grand finals again, and then they do the same shit like this. Just gonna fucking laugh my ass off.
When I was having lunch earlier, I was like, okay, I know I'm gonna miss game 1, but I think game 1 is Genji win. Somehow I just don't trust T1 at finals anymore.
I think if they actually lose now, probably they're gonna change the Zeus, or do they just gonna keep it? I don't know about this whole thing. Do they like usually keep it like underperforming? I mean, it's been like.
To be honest, this is the first year that T1 keeps a roster. This is the first time T1 keeps a full roster from the last year.
Oh, usually they change, right?
They usually change every year.
It's weird because when you guys say it's like been 3 years, the Zeus.
Ben wants to say something.
Okay.
It's not like they are losing, actually. They are winning a lot of games.
Welcome
they win
back,
like
everybody, to the space here at
Yeah,
Indoor Stadium. We have Genji up 2-0 in this series off of the back.
This is the stupid part. It's like every time at the finals, it's
and
like
a little bit
shit.
of insane carry performances here. Of course, I'm talking about Doran. Able to get Gragas 2 times in a row, and
at this
really
point, I will change
series
Zeus,
around him. His team is playing great around him, and they're just
I feel like in investor kind of.
Like, what's the point if you win so much only to lose at the final?
Bear in mind, going into
the
the series, expectation was this was where there might be a mismatch.
They're gonna focus on the big win.
Number 1 in the first team for the regular season, 100% of votes.
At this point, in 2 years straight, like even last year they were undefeated in spring and summer.
I'm really happy
but what's the point? You lose at finals.
I'm really happy that
you lose at LCK final, you lose at MSI final, you lose at Worlds finals. So what's the point?
Good. And I think it's more so he did play really well even yesterday. The thing is it's really a champion for him, and it's really hard to mess up with the Gragas.
I was typing of LeBlanc. It's like, what the fuck did he want to go
LeBlanc?
Actually, like Kennen, the Gragas is
when I was tuning in just now, I was like, wait, he's playing Kasante,
so let me
kind of
ask you guys, of
different,
course, it seems obvious
like
after,
the one Ben said, traditional champion.
They still wanted to give Zeus a good pick on the last pick, but they're on blue side, so they cannot compete.
Okay, we'll give him the Gragas, but we're going to take Kennen and Kasante and the Caitlyn Lux, of course, and this
and
way
then
we'll be able
they
to
still
get
go
through.
Gragas anyway.
Realistically, they misexecuted the lane top lane in game 1. The lane went a lot better in game 2. Like, there was a lead for Zeus, but the team fighting was where the problem is. And I'm going to be real, the Gragas is a problem, but I don't think banning it is just the only solution. I think Genji are playing at a better level, Hayes is being super consistent, Chovy is really on form right now, and Delight can set up some fantastic plays.
just stun luck with
If he fucks up
let's
on
take a look at some
Malphite,
of the
I swear to
highlights,
God, they
because this
deserve
is
to lose
definitely
3-0.
a bit of a show. Obviously, it did start decently well, actually, for
Just
T1 this
Malphite is
time
in the
around
meta right
with
now.
some
They
of these
should
early
pick
fights.
Malphite,
Yeah, I mean,
actually.
as
They
we
should
see,
pick
like, from
Malphite.
the previous stats, like Genji always
feel
is
like when
very
they're like
slow.
since like
The thing is,
2-0 already,
like,
they might as well like
the
try
thing
something
that
else.
Genji
Like
always gotta
better than
lose the
just try
game.
it.
Like if you see like from the middle of the stream, it's just like
H1
still it was like the
Like,
from
like,
like
what
a
is-
favor
what
for
is this
T1 like from the Drake
overextension?
fight. Like it was like just if you keep seeing it, it's there's like some little bit overextended. Like just
Oh, they
they're
got
trying to-
dying
Genji was
vision.
trying
They
to
just
recall,
move
and
immediately
I
instead
think,
of staying.
like,
That's
he
why they
played,
see
like,
him.
the Doran almost got interrupted, but I think Peter was great
like-
outplay here. And he
like
should
seeing, like-
probably
Like,
die.
look at
but
Zeus.
he
Oh
actually
my
made a
God.
really good clutch play, and Genji wasn't be able to pick up the,
Okay, now I see the last
some kills from the
outfit.
pace, and that's where actually from the pace.
I kept saying it 3 times. He keeps saying it didn't hit,
Could
didn't hit,
actually
bro.
roll over all the Summer's Rift.
Because I
And
saw
I feel like
I
it's
saw
often the
Pina
expectation
juking.
is a player
If
like
you
Hayes,
juke, I
it is
assume
his
you-
rookie year,
you
he's
like
playing in the
juke
finals.
people.
on a
He
big
did
stage
juke,
against
but he
T1.
failed.
Maybe a bit timid, maybe a bit nervous would be the expectation, but he has seemed so confident.
Yeah, everyone
with
like
his
should think on
plays,
T1
willing
and
to
then like
step up
should
and
think
get
on
the
like
damage
Faker
in,
and
so
stuff like wow.
really fantastic. And yeah,
T1 can
the
scope
game
so
started
many
off quite
things.
scrappy, quite back and forth.
I feel like
We can
Faker
jump straight
playing
into the
forward
second
is
highlight,
fun. That's
which
what
is
that's what the
next
Cassante
Drake
does. It's
fight,
the
and
it's
we
his
had so
cannon
many
that's the
fights in
big
this
problem.
game that were very scrappy, especially
He
in the
never
beginning of the
never
game.
flanked once.
13
But look
minutes
at
in,
him.
it
Why
was
is
that
he
first
going
fight.
on the
Here's
left?
the
He should be
second
going
one
on the
at
right
18
side.
minutes.
Yeah, I mean, as you see it, it's like the fight looks like really 50-50, but the thing is like, we'll
And
see
why
like
is he
later
in
the
front of
highlight,
the-
thing is like these type of the composition when you actually play
Like Faker's
against the
already
board, like,
there.
when
It's like, what the
play,
fuck are you
it's
walking
really
around?
important
Like,
that
look at
who
him. He's
goes
doing
first,
nothing.
Who make the game? Who make the engage first? Like T1.
Look
they
at
got
Zeus.
the
What is he
favorite
doing?
position, like,
This
from
fight is
on
basically
the
just
reason
Faker and
why is
Owner.
they actually be able to
Zeus
spread
is
the
not
fight
doing anything
first
other
and
than
not
getting
be
caught.
able
Look
to
at
use
him.
the from Doran, like E-flash ulti or like do something. Like because like Kusante was actually really impactful in the middle of the team.
This whole
fight,
fight
that's
is
why
just Faker
the Genji was
Owner.
not actually
Zeus is
able
not
to
doing
get
shit.
good pushings from like from 4
Oh, yeah.
affiliates.
And then
I
he
think
still
that's the thing,
get
if they can
and then
get
he still
the
dies here
initial play,
anyway.
If they can be the ones to start the fight and the engage doesn't
No,
come
he
in
was
with
like, why is
Genji,
it in the
it can look good,
Oh,
especially
wow.
when Carrier's on point with his bindings. But I feel
It's
like part of
actually
the
a
problem is
fucking
that
top
T1 have less tools to make the fight happen. Game 1 and Game 2, you have the Gragas, the Wukong,
Did they have
the
a
Ahri,
war in the tri-bush? He
and
could have
this
just
time it
went
was Nautilus
through the
as well, but it
tri-bush
feels
and
like,
behind
T1
Genji
have
and just
less people
engage.
available to make the fight start.
That looks so
And there's
obvious.
More vulnerable
What?
targets, like the Kate Lux did really well, but they are also easy to engage on.
Zeus has no
Yeah, and we saw a
balls.
little bit of
Zeus
that
lost his
because,
balls.
you know, T1 after
Yeah,
that, you know, the
later, Roy,
game's
if you are
somewhat
gonna
in
watch
an
game
even
1,
spot, you know, they're
you're
not
gonna see
dominating,
that
they're not
Peanuts
winning
will
by a large
invade-
margin. It was pretty close,
will
so
invade,
they
like,
do the T1 thing.
owner
Okay, we're
level
gonna start
1,
the Baron.
but
And then all of a
but he
sudden,
was caught on the wall.
Doran is unlocked.
And then he
Doran is
You're
like
getting
gets killed by
everywhere,
Faker.
and he's the one actually starting.
He's
And,
a
like,
level
you
1
see, like, the pace to be
player.
able to, like, keep,
But you know what
like,
I think
all
that
the
play did?
people, and, like, he
That
actually
play
went for
forced the
Lightstone
bot
from
lane
the
to
mid-
play
mid
2v2
minion, the
because
mid creeps, and
owner
that's
cannot
really
gank.
important.
So I thought
And that's
even
when the
though
carry had to out of
Peanut
the
got
team
first
fight
blood,
with
he's a
using
good player
flash.
actually.
The thing is, like, Pace with the white gun is like unkillable
Peanut
with the
got
melee
killed.
range, and they be able to get the Baron, and they just
He got like 3 people.
roll
Like,
over after that.
And I think I love the confidence from Genji because T1, we've seen this so many times before. Start the Baron, turn off,
Does he not have zones? Every time I see Zeus,
so many
is
different
just like
angles,
fucking dies.
and they pull the trigger quickly.
Zeus doesn't even have Zonias. He has Void Staff and he doesn't use it.
Leave the engage.
He's
Genji
pure
start the fight and they clean it up so well.
He's pure
Yeah,
AP,
and
but
that
he's
was
not
only
playing
the
aggressive.
beginning.
That's the whole
We did
fucking
actually
point.
prepare a lot of highlights this time around because it just felt like we couldn't leave anything astray.
I mean, this
look,
point
Doran
of the
again.
game- This point of the game, it's just Doran the game highlight reel. Like, we don't have a POG, but we instead have a
look at this TP. It's like what?
Like I don't know. Pyoja
Only Faker can TP
He's
there.
like everywhere, just dipping behind. And use the perfect.
He's like, I'm going.
I mean, he's just been phenomenal.
Like
honestly.
the commentator skill, he was like tipping so late as well.
Completely on point. T1 need to get more
Like,
if
they're gonna TP, they should just match the TP
They
timing.
definitely can't let him have his champion again.
Match together, I don't think he will die. He's like so late.
They
Like,
tried,
You know, we don't have a POG, but we do have
I
a
think
finals
Keria
MVP.
put down the control
And
watch slower.
at this point, if Gen G win, I don't care if like Peas becomes a superhuman in game 3 and they win.
Look, Zeus is in front again.
I mean, basically, like let's say, like Doran has to
This
like
every fight he's always in front.
which is impossible.
Here we go again.
That's not how
I mean,
you
it's
play
another one.
fucking
It's like
canon,
they-
everybody knows that.
Like this is the thing. Like when the
Yes,
team
somebody
get
said
all
Doran is
heavy and like be able to auto from the pace.
No
It's
shit.
just not even close. And
Somebody
also
said
this
Doran is
moment
making
is like
T1.
the gold gap is way too big. So it's almost just basically uncompactable.
And the thing is, I feel like T1 have moved a bit away from the meta early in the season, but they're still playing these like win lane, you know, like the cakewalks, like the Kennen. They get the lane advantages, but it feels like the meta right now is so much more about team fights, and Gen.G have realized that.
Gen.G have realized that, and they have run away with the series so far. Guys, we're going to go over to the casters once again for game number 3 and see what happens.
Boy, it's a short stream today.
boy. Wow, 3 hours.
Happy Easter, guys.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, for the breakdown.
Right now it's already a mental gap. Look at Gen.G and then look at T1. One is smiling, the other is like, fuck, man. Look at Owner, it's like, fuck's sake, man.
The Gragas ban button, or
please Z.
Of course, Gragas, certainly something that Faker has had extraordinary
Guma and Carrier
are
not smiling anymore.
On the pick in the mid lane.
Hey, Carrier actually didn't smile the whole time. This whole day,
actually. Gragas is going to be a thing.
Oh, look like he said all the face.
Carrier having a resting bitch face the whole
They gotta
day,
switch
actually.
something up. Beat-in draw.
Oh shit, they see how shit Zeus is.
The biggest mismatch right now is Doran versus Zeus, but I also think that's drawing away from
Faker
the other
is just smiling through the pain.
From the mismatch in the other two top side matchups, because
since 2017
is monumental, and if he gets his Ari again, even if Doran is off of his Gragas with how well Doran is playing, I don't know if it's gonna be enough, because the type of
like, okay, they banned Alessandra because they play Ari. You still have your Blanc, man. What the fuck?
It's blue side
Vega, Cassante, you shit me. You played that skill matchup before.
Something planned, because
I think he thinks Ari counters it or something.
No, it's a skill matchup.
Well, here we are into the pick and ban for game number 3.
Both can beat both. It's just a skill matchup. It's a 50-50.
T1 going to be Zeri first off
and Faker wins the skill matchup.
Is going to change.
Oh, they think Ari is the problem. Oh shit, man.
Like, do they have to do it here? Are they going to be picking it away in the first round? Like, what's the game plan here?
Wukong and Gragas are the fucking problem.
Doran's performance has been amazing. I think a lot of the other issues here have been around T1's setup for objectives. Gragas has been great because Doran has been very punishing.
Why is he banning Cassante?
Pick it away just because of Doran here. So I think if this appropriated the problem here is T1.
Pick away the Wukong here too.
Oh, that means Vi is open now.
And giving more agency to Gumayusi
Finally, they didn't ban
is what
Vi.
I'd like to see. Because the Gragas
just watching
has
on
been a
Twitch. I'm
neutralizing
watching
factor, and if T1 make mistakes, leading into these objectives, like the Baron fight where Guma was picked, you've got to be more diligent about these things. The pick itself isn't the issue, it's the problems around it.
Wow, they banned Cassante.
going to be picked up here.
Jinx Tom Kench, please.
They'll take away the Wukong from Peanut. Jinx Tom Kench to come in from Gumayusi Carrier. Carrier's top, like, oftentimes you see Tom Kench and you're like, oh, boring disengage pick. No, not when Carrier plays it.
Wait, there's still blue side. What? Oh shit, that means Zeus doesn't have counter pick. Oh no.
To play into the Rakan historically. Now, what does Gen.G do? Peanut looking at the Sejuani lock-in.
Actually,
we'll go for it here into the Wukong.
If they just aim the Tom Kench, then they will win.
Very strong, as Oaks was talking about it. The ability to follow up on hard engage. Extremely strong, and on one hand, I like this for
now they're focusing top.
Jinx, Carrier also noted.
I feel like Zeus gonna play Nanix.
Over the Xayah, which is something
right now.
Dread's playing into. But it's also
why is T1 banning their own champions? Does Doran even play Yone? What?
I think Chovy played it.
I don't know if this is the type of confidence that I think and mindset change that I think they need to have a shot here in the finals.
Great. Jace and Kennen are down. That means he's going now.
Is going to have a little bit more agency in this draft potentially because he's been playing utility in the first 2 games. Now he's banned away the Yone here.
Same thing can be said with Kennen and Jace.
So the pick potential here for Gen.G
I say if they pick Malphite was used.
We will see the Gragas ban now.
I swear.
Doran's unable to play it here.
And then they picked away now.
There's very few picks left in this meta.
Zeus
you can say, this is my lane, I'm going to grab
just
hold of it.
focusing Zeus now.
That will Zeus be
Doran has big balls today, what the fuck?
You go Renekton, Wukong, you're set up for Jinx.
No, they know Zeus has no balls today. It's not Doran, it's Zeus.
They're gonna pick Malphite. I'm almost 100%
team fight. But I think this is the right call. And they're going to
Oh,
Sion. Going through a few different options here into the Snar. And I think the boldest choice is the Renekton, but it is at a big risk into a range matchup like the Snar. The Veigar comes through. And I think if T1 are up the play has to be great. It has to be phenomenal. Zeus cannot fall apart in this final game here.
We'll see whether he does pick up something like the high counter, but it's going to be more the tank matchup into the Nav. And now Chovy with counter pick availability. No Ari to fall back to. We'll have to see something different from the Genji man in the mid lane. Here, given counter pick against the Veigar, a difficult champion to really push out a lane completely.
Show me the move.
See, LeBlanc is available, but we've
Why
seen
is
what Vegas
T1's
can
draft
do to it.
today?
Instead,
Like, what the fuck?
it's going to be
Lissandra?
Lissandra, a pick that they have
Chovy
banned
Lissandra?
game
Let's
after
go.
game. That is what they're going to use into the Veigar, into the mid lane this time.
Vegas cage will not work on Lissandra.
We've seen Genji succeed, most notably on that Zyra Khan Lissandra combo. Shown many times.
Like, why would you suddenly think the Ari is the problem when you have
that's trying to play for early game and snowball against Genji
Faker beats Chovy on Ari, man? Like, why do all of them have no balls
play
today?
individually has not been the issue. It's been more about the top half of the map. And Zeus, also an acknowledgement, right? Not going for
Genji
any
still has the better draft.
counter match him into the Nargis.
And they know Zeus is the problem, so they're focusing him in the second round. In the second round
Zeus
draft.
is the problem. That is not the case these past 2 games.
We need proof that T1 can actually match them.
No, it's Zeus' problem.
The thing that is really good is that there's no Gragas to worry about. And now Doran, on a champion that he has performed very well on, has to do it once again.
I think this is the weakest draft of the 3 for Genji so far. I think T1 definitely have a bit of an edge here. They have a lot of setup for this Jinx, and if the play is good enough for Zeus, if he can front to back these and allow Guma to carry, this could be
They have the mental edge, they have the draft edge, it's over.
We'll have to see whether T1 can do it. Of course, reverse sweeps, they are difficult. T1 has been at the hands of them in the past. We'll see whether they can figure it out, find that energy within themselves, because we've seen so many times in these clutch moments they haven't found it. Now is the time to find it, T1. This is the game to do it.
No, they won't do it.
As we get into game 3.
They can't do it, they already failed.
I can hear the test from your side.
No, it's from your side, it's not
Are you sure?
It's your side.
I don't see my mic moving though. I see Ama's mic moving.
Oh, look at that big portal.
He's gonna destroy you.
Look at that.
All of the fans in the Jumshul Indoor Stadium are just blowing the roof off here today. I can see maybe like 2 empty seats in this huge circular stadium.
And statistically, at this point in time, someone's
Zeus on 10
Maybe they want to grab a trade.
Yeah, boy. Oh shit.
Get a pretzel, you know? Are people not
LCK Digital Collectibles. Own the legends. Oh, I better look this up.
Lol. What the fuck is
I'm
that?
lagging,
Secret
no.
card.
Okay.
Oh no, they got us.
Full vision. And Gumayushi Carrier here on this bottom side, another tried and true combo here in this bot lane. Jinx, Tahm Kench, something that they have played so well. Pays and Delight, a lot of comfort there as well. But I feel like T1 feeling like you say, this
watching the
is the
LCK
better
Grand Finals
of
game.
the draft so far. The biggest one is Doran not being able to go back to a champion that he's just felt so comfortable on in the last, 3 games here in the Jumshul Indoor Stadium?
And the Renekton pick I was talking about, which we could have seen, is a risky one because it means that Zeus has to perform. And I think T1 have identified, okay, right now Doran is looking to be so strong that I just don't want to take this risk. And
Even the casters know. Like, everyone knows Zeus is playing like shit right now.
With the Sion, you're basically opting into Guma is the carry.
The T1 team knows it, the casters know it, Genji knows it.
Guma is looking at this saying,
you know it,
this is now a comp where I have all the agency and I have a great frontline. Even the Veigar cage is going to operate as a frontline for him to pop off. And he's got so much safety with this top 10, even into the Lissandra, even into, Sejuani engages into Rakan, as you were mentioning, Chronicler. So I feel like Guma is going to be at his most comfortable going into this one. Still have to be careful on objective setup, though. That's been one of the biggest issues for T1 for me in this best of 5.
And it's been about Gen.G actually finding consistent backline access. And into this T1 comp, it should be the hardest as of the comps that we've seen right now. Because there is, as you point out, Cage, there is so much frontline between Owner, Zeus, and Keria. And there is also just the fact that Devour exists. So for Gen.G, you have an outrange AD carry.
Why is Faker playing Vega again? What's his purpose?
Has again a lot of tools. Chovy off of his Ahri, sure, but his Lissandra has also been a force to be reckoned with. And you do know that when followed by a player that is
we should have just played Nasus mid then.
A lot of action happening. But T1, as mentioned previously, I think when you're in these high pressure situations,
Wall stacks.
Brutal stacks.
Kind of plays itself is a really good way for your players to try and refine some of that momentum. And this comp, as straightforward as it gets.
What?
Absolutely. There's also the mindset, right? Like, you know how it feels. You're in a game
of
League of Legends, and if
they're
you're
bullying him again.
A couple of victories, you know, you feel like the rift just opens up in front of you. You can walk everywhere, make anything happen that you want to. But the opposite can feel true as well, as Zeus.
What's that flash?
Already in trouble, but Doran taking way too much damage. Roar of the Slayer gonna connect the minion. As Zeus might have just been baited into this one as Peanut comes around and tries to repair the damage that Doran did as they just dive over the top of him.
It's a 3-0,
and Gen.G
baby.
turn it into first blood.
Bit of a close call there, that permafrost not hitting, and it is eventually going to come through and they'll take him out here. Some flashes are
does it, right? Like, almost messes up, and even then, the rest of his team, Peanut and Cho. The biggest criticism of this player seems to gone up in thin air. The amount of cross-map impact he's had in playoffs is nuts. And then you look at his stats and you're like, how can he do both? That's not supposed to happen.
Yeah. You look at his CS stats and stuff like that, and you're like, well, if he's making so many of these proactive plays, why isn't he dropping CS? Why isn't he dropping experience? In this case, he identifies it because Doran's got the lane controlled, Peanut's topside, and Faker decides to back. And he knows this, so he's just like, well, I'm not dropping anything for this. I'm just going to go make a play. Faker doesn't know I'm going up. And Zeus, unfortunately, caught here. Now flashless.
Well, now Chovy doesn't have level 6, but he can get out of the cage. He utilizes the claw in order to do so.
That's why I say the cage is useless against
Lissandra. So he's going to look for a reset regardless.
Oh god.
Standoff.
Yeah, this is a little bit frightening on both sides. As Chovy down relatively low.
Level 6.
The circle of frost though, as there is that level 6 frozen tomb just taken by Faker, and now Chovy going to turn it onto Owner. He goes invisible, but it doesn't matter. The claw will still get you, and Chovy gets his second.
Yeah,
this is starting to become a very, very snowbally game here for Gen.G. 2 kills picked up for Lissandra early, and you have level 6 advantage. You know you can pull this off, and Faker gets away, but you turn it instantly onto Owner, and Peanut had flashed the whole time. You're always going to be under threat, and playing up like this and double down, as Owner was, is just a huge risk.
And this play, as mentioned, starts off. Doran unfortunately goes for an early flash. This early on, the cooldown on Q is still long, so Zeus can't go in. And there's just no way to live there, right? Like, with the summoner still available. That play, I think, very nicely executed, but this is just T1.
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with what Faker is doing here, but Owner trying to come in here and salvage the play when Faker's so far away from 6.
Why are you ganking for Faker? Doesn't Faker just want to go back and stack?
Not going to work out. And the Wukong, of course,
no, why are you ganking a Vega that's facing a
Lissandra? One of those
Lissandra?
champions that does want to head towards level 6. Owner, of course, fantastic on this champion. Don't need to remind him of that one, but the 2v2, a little bit more difficult at that particular instance. The way that it was played by Gen.G, absolutely fantastic. But still, salvageable for T1. This is by no means over, but a worrying sign.
No, it's already over.
It all depends on what state will Guma be in. But if the rest of Gen.G on top half is getting super fed and the map falls apart, you can reach this problem with single carry compositions, which, even though Faker is playing the Veigar, with how the early game has gone, I don't expect him to be the main carry here. You can run into this issue. Oh my god, if they can set Guma behind!
Guma is going to be able to flash. He's only level 5 though, as Keria just going to protect him using the Abyssal Dive. Love to see it here, but still, flash down, goes
Guma
down
used
from
both summoner.
And this is a huge opportunity now for Gen.G to actually turn this game into their early Drake control. the Herald hasn't spawned yet. Noner has level 6, so finally he's relevant.
Oh,
but they're
my
not
God.
going to be near him.
Ignites there. Faker doesn't have TP.
Oh, yeah, doing the T1 against
Going to come in
T1.
here as level 5 for Carrier. Gumayushi, he's just dead. The Glacial Prison comes down. Carrier tries to escape, but he might die as well. It's the cell phone for Chovy to make sure that he stays alive, and they're continuing the dive. Carrier not going to be dived this easy as now Faker is going to flash Cage, and Zeus is coming in as well. Massive knockup. He's going to go down. Faker likes that one. Chovy, he's out of there, but can Delight survive? I do not think so, and T1 are looking for more. Great battle dance is going to save Delight's life, so in the end, it's actually just a 1-for-1 unless... No, Peanut's going to flash. Does land the Q to Zeus, but T1 not going to dive.
Now this is not without cost here for T1. Zeus is going to use his
that's
ultimate
a
here,
good
and it's going to be out of lane. But this is the first T1 moment I feel like we've seen in this series where it looks like it's good.
And that solidifies the advantage for
And
T1.
T1, they're a team who will turn dives on their heads. And we've seen it so often without vision of where Zeus is. You do have to respect this. And Carrier buys so much time he goes down there. But this is the T1 we've been so familiar with this season, is a T1 that looks vulnerable but turns these plays around. Now, they have a gold lead.
And what's really big as well is that, particularly when you're down 0-2, the fact that they're able to salvage that play is so big, because if they just get that dive, right, and Genji walk away without paying a cost, you're going to be feeling very, very bad. Particular, that ultimate from Guma is the big difference maker to me, getting the kill onto Peanut, because here, big disaster, obviously, for T1. Really nicely set up dive here, but crucially, they go in for Carrier. Carrier is Kensho, he's going to be more than fine, and then a beautifully timed flash Cage.
It's like Camille Galio out, but a bit better.
With his sums and his Feather Storm up, doesn't opt to use it, and as a result, the extended trade is a 1-for-1, but then Guma
hits level 6 and just says that's where he is. Oh, just gorgeously played.
One was
now, in live, it appears to be the Drake did go over, of course, to Genji regardless. That is to say, it looked like they were taking it, but they have actually moved away. So now they're trying to rotate up here and defend this dive.
Yeah,
so Drake's still up.
Moving into position as Doran having to deal with 3 people.
Cast the
Does have Meganar almost close, but mid-hop, and that is Super Mega Death Rocket doing exactly its job once again. More plates going into Gumayushi. T1 coming alive here in this series as Faker inside his own cage. Peanut just throws the wrong direction, but that is Arctic Assault landing. They will be able to collect the kill onto Faker still. Zeus trying to trade back. No, never mind. He's going to skip that. It's an express line train, so never mind. Doesn't stop at that station.
And what's crucial here is Guma is getting fed, and this composition stands or falls by can the Jinx get enough kills right now? 1,500 gold lead here.
Yeah, this is massive. Now, Zeus is going to come over here and scout out this Drake tank.
Items.
Well, Doran is here. Zeus
you were saying?
Moved into the pit. Does have flash available, so he's not going to die, but he does still have to use that flash in order to get out.
Really,
I'll take the Drake anyway.
Choice to actually lane
as soon as you say he's not going to die, he's just going to go in and die.
Lost for Genji.
Wait, he didn't die?
Side play, as everybody's going up top side.
He wants to go in and die.
Drake Doran is taken out here, so you're losing on both sides of the map here, but then you swap things back, you put the Scion onto the Drake. It's a bit of a bizarre call, and Faker goes down in the meantime, and T1 making the right choices to get Guma fed, getting that success on the top side, but everywhere else seems to be collapsing. And even just losing Flash on the Scion there, being pushed away while Free Farm is going over to Pays. Yeah, 2 kills for Guma, but he's still farming well. He's not that far behind. It is a significant lead, but he's still going to do things
now it's like Genji's playing like T1 and T1's playing like Genji.
Well, Zeus in position one more time. Doesn't have ulti available.
Now they're playing for Gumayushi.
Spots the Scion. It does want to get out. Arctic Assault going to be used if he gets over that wall. Blast Cone was what he used to get over there, so still had it available.
Why is Zeus showing himself?
Moving into position now, though, as well, as T1 bearing down on Genji. Not wanting to give up this lead on T1 at all. Now, Peanut has to use that Q one more time to get out.
What is this?
It's a 4v4 in the bottom lane. It's just non-stop action, trying to get as much value to Guma as possible. They want this turret so badly. They've already gotten first brick. They want to set up for potentially more plate gold here on the bottom side, and everybody's grouped up. The top lane doesn't exist here, as both teams have identified. Guma is both the threat, but also the saving grace here for T1.
Exactly. FaZe now trying to desperately defend, but should be another plate going over to Gumayusi. This Jinx is starting to become a huge issue, a thorn in Genji's side. As he takes a couple of turret shots, but he'll make it out. He'll be fine. There was already a Devour there for Carrier as well, who does have level 7 now available. Kraken Slayer, huge here for Gumayusi right now.
And what's going to be the issue that Genji and the puzzle that they have to solve if they do actually want to get the series win here is how do you kill Guma? Because your backline access with flanks can be amazing. Chovy in particular, obviously going to be really big. And Guma, crucially, also didn't go for cleanse. Now, when you have a Devour available, you can afford to do that more often than not. But unless you can somehow separate Carrier and Guma and Faker and Science standing in front of him, right? You are going to have to find a way to deal with him as, unsurprisingly.
This is desperation.
Is already sitting on a Kraken, going to be building towards an RFC very second.
Oh, game 2 is already desperation.
That didn't really benefit from the 2-item like IE slash quick plates change that has been made, as doesn't get the cancel unfortunately. But if you're 1800 gold up, you're like, that's fine. I'll get to my free item spike relatively soon.
She didn't really 3 items when you'd normally hit 2 items. You're pretty okay with it,
nice.
Right?
Yeah, she hasn't really benefited from overheal either. So, you know, the lack of vision here is a bit scary.
Whole bunch of pings going down here as he puts down the flame shot.
Flash.
There's the permafrost. Chovy is just going to flash for it. No one in the
He doesn't flash.
Just eviscerate Gumayusi in his own jungle. T1 unable to collapse quickly enough, but they were so close to getting there, just not quite.
Just flash, what?
Where the vision is not shown like that, it's terrifying, but Guma trusts his team is going to be able to come save him. He has the Tom Kench, but he's just so disconnected from him, and you talk about how hard it is to kill a Jinx in this comp. The access is difficult, but when you're alone, it's much easier, as we've seen here. And now Genji going to look to win this fight without the enemy AD carry.
They're going to contest?
Well, Faker has the cage. He's going to place it down now. Does find the Xayah with it. Dark Matter does a little bit of damage there as in goes Owner. I don't know whether he secured a Peanut. He's able to take down the Herald, but can the team fight P1? Without this Jinx for T1 is the question. Huge gnaw from Doran, but another Event Horizon goes down. It's a big knock-up as they take down the Gnaw.
Guma's here now.
Chovy should be able to get himself out as Gumayusi is just running to catch up with his team, but Owner for Doran, and it was picked up by Peanut there, the Rift Herald.
And Owner will end up going down, as you point out. What was big, though? Juma going down there was unfortunate. Will lead to the Herald go down, but he did save his flash. I actually think that's the right call. I don't know if he ever gets out here. And with his flash available, the amount of safety that he has in the upcoming fight for the Dragon is going to be big. I do expect T1 to want to try to test that. So Delight, look, note the cancel actually there on the W. Really nicely done.
Oh, yeah, amazing.
Yeah, nice. That's why Carrier wasn't able to appear there and look for the Devour. Maybe Carrier flash, or rather Guma flashes to him if he's able to get over there, but he does not. As this is an engage here from Owner where he gets into the back of the pit here, but unfortunately without an 80 carry, the damage just isn't there. Heroic knockup here from Carrier when the cage is set though, and T1, I think they did this about as well as you could have ever hoped to do without an 80 carry, as this is that knockup coming through from Carrier. They take out Doran with the ult. It's a ton of damage here, and you can imagine if Guma is here, it's a different story.
Yeah, crucial there was that Pace, while he did get the kill on Owner, probably should have helped the rest of his team. They didn't choose to do so, so they were lacking damage. And into Kench and Sion, you're not going to take them down with just Lissandra.
Well, now Genji have started up yet another objective. T1 now with the Jinx available. This is going to be a very different story. Super Mega Death Rocket doesn't get the steal. And it is going to be locked down by Peanut. We have Mountain Soul. Oh, man. Souls have been phenomenal this series so far.
Inferno, baby.
Just alluding to the lack of Chemtech, basically. As this outer turret now under siege, T1 looking for any sort of advantage after losing out on that fight. Is now Frozen Tomb going to be used, but onto Zeus, who's tanking the turret, does have to flash, because that Glacial Prison would have been his tomb. Okay.
Why is Owner going in?
Looking for an opportunity, but Doran's in the bottom lane, and in the meantime, he is just clearing up these structures. Event Horizon comes through, Chovy not quite slowed down enough. T1 creating so much space with this composition.
Yeah, Doran is actually on Gnar into Sion and 50 CS up here. Look at the items, just nothing here yet for Zeus, and so far away from any real mythic here.
Oh yeah, the thing you said, like,
so Doran actually has a lot of control, and there's nothing that Zeus can do here. Now Flashless,
actually
so low.
There's actually a cooldown on the ult.
I'll teleport into the mid lane. T1 still bearing down on this turret. It is quite low.
I think late game
the siege
is
going to
cooldown,
discontinue
so
at this point. Genji have weathered the storm for now.
And what's very big here as well is that Doran, not only does he have a call, but he's also been able to actually pick up his farm. Zeus, with his roam towards the bot side of the map, already dropped a decent amount of CS, but also T1, which I think is the right call, have just been funneling everything into Guma, right? The reason why I think that FaZe is still able to keep up because
reminds me of Eddie, actually.
have been able to take Guma down twice already. But
far up, no flash for FaZe.
Yeah, Owner is going to get snared up by the Ring of Frost. The Claw is going to get the balance. FaZe is slowed down. This could be the opportunity. Featherstorm has to use Flame Charge. Almost catch him as he comes down. Super Mega Death Rocket flies off just a little bit wide. But yeah, Doran is still just hitting things in the bottom lane.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, build a hole breaker.
He can't even press R.
He might.
Now, they're still going to lose the mid turret here, but I think Gen.G fairly lucky that they were able to get out there with FaZe because he had no flash. Peanut was flanking. There wasn't any peel there. T1 were able to identify it. But his positioning against these rockets has been pretty phenomenal.
Gonna get so much flame
T1
from
don't
the
get
trucks.
everything they were looking for, but they still get the mid turret.
Rift Herald was just timing out here as well. So in the middle of the lane, Shirley is going to be popped down. Carrier looking to try and stop it from getting the charge, and I think they might be able to do so. Teleports come through to try and save the moment. He's going to get in here, doesn't have Featherstorm, remember, as T1. No, they're not going to be able to stop it. The Devour has to come through, but Carrier's going to be quickness, and the Scion, he's surviving for so long till Light gets out, Peanut gets out, no one dies. Fine, never mind, it's okay.
All good, all good.
Yeah, this is chill. It was just a trade, it's obvious. Yeah, sorry guys.
Well, luckily for T1, there's no objective up right now, or this would have been more than just a turret going down, but both solo laners committing teleport here to try to stop this turret from going down, in Gen.G's case, to make sure it goes down. And it looked really scary there for T1 for just a moment because your movement forward there is reliant on the turret surviving, and because it did not, they were very vulnerable. Zeus, being as tanky as he is, even without a Mythic, is able to survive, but a lot of map control given to Gen.G here, and that next Drake is up in less than 2 minutes.
What's also big is that Carrier was forced to flash Devour there, right? Like using the defensive cooldown that he might have wanted to save for Guma. We also saw that if Gen.G throw everything into a front line,
I think that's the Seraph's Embrace.
You're not going to win the fights.
I really hope
remember, down Doran
it's Seraph's Embrace. It's Seraph's
something that you need
Embrace.
to be very mindful of. You need to make
You know,
sure
game
that
one,
Guma,
he
even if you don't
bought
kill,
the Deadman's
zone
Plate.
out from just
He did
hitting
no
everyone.
damage
Particularly with Runans, right? Like getting a reset, getting excited is so easy. Oh no, Faker.
He knows something.
No vision whatsoever, none.
He has an inkling as to what's going on here as Peanut is taking this Gromp right now. Gen.G going to give up on the situation.
And every time we see Gen.G set up for a dive, potentially the T1 react and come topside, Dorn is always left alone bottom. And he's actually been taking a lot of the red side jungle here too, so he's picked up so much money. He's actually becoming a second
Gen.G's
carry
becoming
threat
more like
in this
Gen.G
game,
right
in fact.
now.
And with the amount of gold that Chovy has, he actually doesn't need that much farm this game. This is one of those rare games where Chovy has less farm than Doran because he has so much money anyways, and he's got the critical parts of this Lissandra build. He's got 2 Zonias with his ult.
He's full build. That's full build Lissandra. Like, he doesn't need anything else.
So Gen.G are really using the economy of the map incredibly well here. And Peanut also, very low eco, doesn't need that jungle, so Doran's just taking it all. And T1, yeah, Faker lives, but it's not a free win. You know, it comes at a cost, and the main cost is bottom side control. Gen.G also have tons of vision here on Baron, so it's hard for T1 to try to trade objectives.
T1, but T1 also cannot
I've got one word for you, gentlemen. Double infinite scaling. See whether T1 can take it really long. Doran's going to get caught out immediately. Cyclone, and they shut him down. They see 1 second of opportunity.
Guma has the what?
Very clean.
Runans. Good.
Now you've got an opportunity to take this Drake.
Oh my, okay, so now it's,
that's gonna give it.
we start the conversation about stacking 4 Mountain Drakes, Chronicler? Like, what's going on here?
Well, yeah, could be. At the very least, T1 will get 1, which will help Guma with some baseline defensiveness. They also have Scion, Tom Kench, and a Wukong. So they're going to be very, very happy if they're able to stack up multiple.
I don't get why Jinx players just don't build Ronan second. Look at how useful the Jinx rocket is right now.
Actually, the one that starts is up. The slow comes through from Zeus. And yeah, once you're in cage, basically you have to flash
that's
out
0.5 second.
Hesitates, did have a splash available
Scion
there.
out. That melee range Scion out.
Able to pick up the Drake.
Whoa, that's an immediate knock-up onto Carrier here, but the Event Horizon is down. Carrier can eat the Grey Health. Can he get out? No, he cannot. Doran gets his immediate revenge. As now Chovy behind his thralls. Yeah, they're going to look for that Baron opportunity. Floor is going to be utilized, and now can the Wukong get into position?
No Devour! Yeah, no flash, no Devour here for Guma, and they have vision in both choke points. The approach is so difficult here for T1.
They're still going to go for it, as T1 know exactly where they are at least.
It's
Claw
T1
now
or
for a moment,
it's
but the
Baron or Bust.
lower and lower. Faker does have that smite available. Event Horizon going to be utilized. Super Mega Death Rocket somehow finds a gap. As Gen.G, they are still on the Baron. Faker's going to flash again with the double smite. Baron secured here by T1. The knockout inside the brush is fantastic. As Chovy tries to get it done, but he's not going to be able to. Zeus just hitting whatever he can find. As T1, they won the team fight. The Baron still going to be there on multiple members of T1.
What a fantastic ult there from Paze at the end of it. Double smite means that this is such a risky Baron to take. We've seen teams like KT Rolster fall prey to this, but Gen.G win the fight swimmingly. Doran?
Yeah, Faker looking for a wraparound.
Yeah, Doran able to path towards the bottom half of the map. They didn't have vision there, so doesn't get caught off there by Faker. Will be able to make his way out. And really big win there for T1, even with Keria getting taken down at the start of that. Again, Delight having a wonderful series, and the rest of the team immediately ready to follow up. It's only Keria that they lose, which means that T1 still feels safe to walk up, right? To actually contest this.
And look at Faker's positioning for the double smite here.
The sidestep on the Glacial Prison as well.
Yeah, Owner is able to work his way towards this pit here. Because Gen.G are trying to both hold aggro and Baron and win the fight, there's an easy opportunity here for the double smite. And Peanut's unable to secure the objective. And yeah, you lose the fight after this one. But still a huge win here for T1 in terms of shutting this Baron down.
Faker, Peanut, Owner. That was the smite order, as we got a fight in live here as well as we're watching the replay. Event Horizon not going to find any targets as Gen.G finding themselves on the ropes. T1 moving back into a gold advantage. And they're going to find a pickup onto the light as well. He's just destroyed Gumayushi, grabbing another one. More Cyclones coming in. It's Peanut looking to try and turn it. The Gumi, even though he's at 50% health, he's still got 3 items, and this Jinx is terrifying.
Chovy's on the other side of the map, doesn't have teleport, so has to back here. He's going to take forever to get here. This should at least be an inhibitor going down. T1 turning a lost fight here with a Baron into a massive objective.
Oh, Chovy actually stuck around, calling the bluff.
Yeah, kind of like that, I guess, but he's not going to be able to get this turret. Going to run out of minions a little bit. Oh, no, never mind. We're now trying to stop the backs here on Gen.G's side. Difficult when they're empowered, but it looks like it's given Chovy enough time to collect this, unless Keria has anything to say about it. Should be able to avoid it, and there we go. So, turret is going to stay standing. T1 now allowed to go home.
A very close game we have on our hands here. And, you know, 3 items on this carry of Guma. He's reached the breaking point here where he has LDR. He could do a ton of damage to the front line. So even the engage of Peanut always comes at a cost now, because his health bar is going to get ripped through. So you have to be so incredibly careful. And this is just T1 sieging up here. They have Zeus in the front line. Cage hits to light here. There's just no saving him. And there's so much follow-up damage that once the Jinx is excited in moments like this, you just can't turn around. You can't re-engage.
Can't do it. Gen.G still in a position where they are within touching distance, but this is where I think the compositional difference really comes in, right? Where T1, with the lead that they have on Guma, 3 items done now, has his Lord Dominix as well, so he's going to shred even through the tankier members, Peanut and Doran, very, very quickly. As long as they can keep Guma safe, it becomes so hard for Gen.G to win any fight. And Gen.G, they can't just sit around, right? The poke from this Jinx, the rockets are going to chunk you down.
Not to mention the fact that their siege is still very good. Battle Dance to get them out of the way there as the Flame Trump is connected onto Delight, but he will be okay for the moment. Yeah, this is the huge problem, because it doesn't just mean that fights are hard, it means that defending your base becomes very, very difficult when you have range disadvantages like this.
Yeah, I really do like he's going to get denied potentially.
Yeah, it does actually stop the back. Really beautifully done. And now Onan says, it is my time. Gets the double knockup back to back here as Chovy self-ults to keep himself alive. There's the Zonyas as well. Event Horizon's going to get this done, and that is the kill for Gumayushi. Just delivered. And he is so excited now as this Jinx tearing apart the base.
Trying to go through bot to end.
Yeah, do they have the opportunity to just finish this one off? That would be pretty huge. Potentially, Greedy is now Peanut going to get chunked out. Okay, a lot of damage onto the Scion, but now Faker just finds himself the ultimate.
Flash out.
The burst of
Okay.
damage onto his former teammate is going to take
what?
him down as now inhibitor turret going to be taken as a consolation as that's a huge knockup.
Now
from
Doran did the
Carrier.
Zeus.
And Gumayushi once again excited just
he missed the
walks
charm.
out of the grand entrance, and Delight is going to have to
Hey,
walk
do
out
anything.
of that fight.
Hey,
And now
hey,
T1, they're going to try it
It
again.
should be end.
Do your best Morgan impression. I think we got a series on our hands.
I think so. Hold up your hands, ladies and gentlemen. This is at least going to 4 as T1 Super Mega Death Rockets flying. That is the execution of FaZe. And Gumayushi, he can take down the Nexus now if you would like to. We'll see where they are. What?
Oh,
what?
Jovi finding a
Holy
massive amount of opportunity,
shit.
but
Oh,
the
Faker
Nexus
was
is
still on the
still
right
dead.
side.
And T1, they will bring us to game 4.
Really identifying that the win condition for this roster tonight is going to be the bottom side. Games 1 and 2, there were no problems with Guma and Carria's play. They played phenomenally, positioning was great. And then going into game 3, they hovered the
Zeus was
Renekton,
basically
but they
like
thought better of it.
top side.
And one of the big win conditions we thought for T1 tonight was going to be strong side Zayas in the top side. T1 thought so too. You could see it in the drafting. The
Carria's
first
like my
pick,
fucking man.
Jace in game 1, but they change it around here, and this time all resources funneled into Guma, and he comes up big.
And you saw in the crowd there cheering on for the reverse
Oh, Zeus
sweep.
was
This
shaking
is
his head at the last
step
second.
1. Actually, the most important step that has been
Yeah,
taken.
otherwise you
because
don't get any other steps.
Yes, but this is the most difficult. Changing momentum in a series like this is absolutely huge. You saw Gen G utilizing what they had in yesterday's performance to go even further, and T1 finally coming alive and doing enough
defaulting back
to
to
take
front to
away a
back team
victory
fight.
here in this game number 3. It's not over yet. This is definitely fantastic news for T1.
And it's been a year since we have gotten a finals that's not a 3-0. So I'm very happy.
Yeah, true.
At the very least, we might match what we saw in 2021
over
as
double the damage.
Yeah, Guma showcasing that for as well as FaZe has been playing, if T1 needs someone to step up, he's been that guy all playoffs. He was the guy at Worlds, and he's showcasing it here again. But for T1, I agree, the first important step has been set, but the struggle starts now because Gen G is going to be able to swap over to blue sides, which is going to completely flip the draft on its head.
And Adoran on form has a lot more pick priority on blue side than we have seen for Gen G thus far in playoffs.
That is a very good point. We'll have to see what is going to happen as we move to possibly different sides of the rift as we head to game 4. First, we're heading to a break, then the space, and then we'll get in to see whether this match point is going to be the one for Gen G or whether we're calling in Silver Scrapes.
So this is why Faker goes Vega. He did the. It's for the Camille S combo.
You know the testers say like Vega counters Ari. In my opinion, I don't think so.
It only counters her dash. That's it.
No, even if you cage Ari, right, he will get out of the cage if you dash fast enough. That's my opinion.
Ah, that's true.
Because,
But if I want to juke the cage, I will just W for the move speed. Every time a Vega does this, I just W. I don't need to dash, I just press W for the move speed.
나를 봐봐. 일어나. 나이스. 나 2초 뒤 셀 돼. 파이팅 좀 해볼게. 유대봐.
이거 리산 나오는데 전야랑 공 없다.
신난다 터쳐보면 좋아 하나.
야, 우리 캔치군도 있다.
신난다 하나 터쳐볼까?
타워만.
Take top.
신난다 터지면 좋아.
Why is Zeus not tanking?
자, 지키면서.
빙크스. 터. 떼줘온다 이거. 나이스.
간파 하자 얘들아.
나이스. 무슨 가면 돼. 편하게.
Almost back, no screaming.
끝났어.
나이스.
Oh god, what is that? Oh my god, it's metaverse. It's Facebook. Oh shit.
Oh my god.
VR chat is better than this. Calculate taxes. What?
What? What was that?
Why would you calculate taxes in metaverse?
Oh, that's the best gameplay of all. Wow.
Oh my god, this is Guma's theme song.
Wow.
Digital collectibles, it's just collectibles.
Oh, it's a TCG? Ah, fried chicken.
I wish it's a TCG.
And then you're just gonna play bigger card.
No, I'm gonna play trophy card.
Disgusting.
Gotta love my fellow Ari mains. Yeah, boy.
Disgusting. Oh, it's that boy.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Wow.
Why is this? Oh. Oh.
Why is owner on the right side? What?
Bam.
I thought I saw this video somewhere before. What?
This is a pretty old ad.
Oh, this is what is it again? Pentacube. I can see you drumming on the other side.
What?
You're definitely drumming to this, right? Doing your air drumming.
I don't hear anything. I closed the music.
Oh no.
Oh, it's this song. Ah, bro.
Oh, it's that. It's that ad again. It's the eye drop ad again.
No, don't do it. Hero. What?
That reminds me, I kinda need a new mouse. My mouse is doing the thing where like, what? A small touch and then it will click it already.
Isn't that just sensitivity? 。
Oh,
Oh, this song. 。 Oh, it's this song. Ah, bro. 。 Oh, it's that ad again. It's the eye drop ad again. No, don't do it.
It's like your old mouse pad in college now.
That one is super insensitive. I keep pressing until it cannot feel my button already.
For me right now, I cannot even feel that I click, but then it click.
It's the opposite of my college mouse lah. My college mouse is I press very hard and then he'd be like, huh? You got press me?
Why you slap him so hard? Why you gotta slap it so hard? What is he in the garden?
Sun is playing mid Zyra. You better? You better? You better? Oh shit, down once in the finals.
Huh?
Because the one is sponsoring. Oh my god,
it's D.
In the finals.
It's D+.
Welcome back to the space after game number 3. T1 able to keep themselves alive in this series by getting one game. Still down 1-2 against Genji, but they proved that at least they can do it, and they're not going to go down without a fight. So I'm here with Ox and Hooney. What did you guys think about this draft and the way that T1 played out this game?
I think this draft is significantly easier to play. I've kind of hammered on how the meta has shifted more to being fight-focused, and it felt like T1 was still a bit focused on getting laning advantages. They actually went ahead in lanes here. We saw like top lane fall behind, but when it came to the team fights, they had a composition that punishes short-range comps. Genji, a much shorter-range composition, really struggled into the Veigar, into the Tahm Kench, into the Jinx, and it ended up paying off because those fights are where they won out the game.
Yeah, I think the key is like if it's from the difficulty, which is like I think T1 brought the up like game 1, game 2, I think way harder. Like, which is like there, as I said it, I think anyone can make a mistake. It's in the playoff, like it's at the grand final. Like if you make one mistake, like the punishment, the consequences, like it's kind of way too big. So I think it's really important, like keep it really simple and easy to be like able to just play. And then I think the banning Gragas is like really, really good. I think Doran on Gragas is basically just unpunishable.
Yeah.
So I think he played Gnar, and then there was some moment that they could actually find a way that they could actually punish.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, sometimes 1 or 2 players go Super Saiyan in a series, in a big important one. You just got to ban them out, and they did that. They found a way to get through Doran, and T1, I was really impressed by their mental capacity to just stay alive in the series. And they went down a little bit early on. We can actually take a look at the first fight here where there was the bot dive, which T1 were able to just barely kind of turn this around.
It's a good timing for Genji. Carrier isn't 6 yet, and I think he's trying to kill minions here to stop the wave getting to the tower. Still not able to save his AD carry, and then here it's the follow-up play that ends up going in favor. Tahm Kench a bit too hard to kill, but it's when the solo laners turn up that T1 start to turn it around.
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole point is from the, I think the complications, which is like, I think they didn't have to go for the PK the second play.
I think Guma doesn't even have to use Skill Force. Like he has Skill Force, he has his Flash.
The Rakan dodge, I mean, is better than you just walking back and forth. If you know you cannot fight, then you should just
I think T1 make a really great counter play. If only Guma used to just die and it just, get off, I think it would have been really bad. But the thing is, like, this is the thing. Like, even though Guma usually died and then he came to the mid and he was getting farmed, that's the whole point. And he got to pick up the kill from the Sejuani here and beat the Grump as well. And to be able to find a way that he can actually get a 2 KD from the AD carry.
Yeah, it's actually insane. After that, he was just in such a fantastic position.
How did he still know
still
that
early on
they
in
win
the
game
game, still
3?
playing Jinx, but he got that kill. There was a kill on the top side that he took down with the rocket as well. And all of a sudden, we were like, hey, this is exactly what they're playing for. They have this Jinx to play for the team fights. He's getting ahead. He's getting fed. T1 actually do have a chance in this game. We can jump straight to the fight at 22 minutes into the game where we're fighting over Baron.
Minecraft for 12 hours all day.
Unsealed spell looked pretty good.
Yeah, and at this point, Chovy was pretty fed.
What? He's playing the last
still a bit precarious, but this is such a good team to fight from because fighting a pit against the Veigar is so difficult. Every time that cage comes down, he just puts you in a really awkward spot And bear in mind, Carrier isn't here, but they still just aren't able to get on top of this
People
Jinx.
keep saying PewDiePie doesn't make gameplays anymore, but he's over at Twitch.
Comes in to buy some time.
I mean, the point is like they killed the support, like they killed the carry. But the thing is like they didn't like they gotta respect more of the double smite could happen. And the thing is like it was too risky. I mean, if they wanted to do it, I was calling like Doran should have just thrown his body up and as like make sure they don't get the double smite range. But the thing is like it wasn't perfect. It wasn't like. It wasn't good. Like it was definitely a mistake, and then like that's why they kind of throw the game like from the match. But you know, it is what it is. They gotta swallow it.
Yeah, I can confirm Huni was definitely screaming a lot about that play in the back room. Very not happy with the way that Genji were handling that situation and going for the fight in the first place. But we end up in this situation now where they gotta fed Jinx.
Just like Zeus.
Zaya's not here. He gets stopped on his backs, and
that's why Zeus has Jack Show.
And at this point, they're ahead and they have the confidence. Gumayusi is
like,
playing
I'm
so
not
aggressive
gonna
because he
fucking
knows
die this
should he
game.
overstep, he has the Tom Kench to save it. I mean, look, I'm gonna be real. T1 could have just ended up taking a couple of kills, maybe a tower, but Genji keep trying to force to try and get some kills in return, and it backfires massively.
Yeah, I mean, I basically, as you see, like, they're over-forced, like, they're over-defending, and then they're actually getting punished. Like, that's how the game ends. Like, if you see, like, the keep coming
Q flash,
like, he got
that's a flash
belted, and
combo.
then Pina was trying to just, like, over-defending, and he just got caught, like, and Rakan tried to, like, over-engage as well, like, as 2v5, and, like, you can't defend this, like, if you're just, like, not playing as a team. And that was the key. They were not coordinated, not synced well, and that's the punishment.
He won for 2 games after playing like Genji, and then in the last fight, Genji played like Genji.
The harder it would be. Like you saw at the end there, Paige trying to step up to Gumayusi, but the range discrepancy as a Xayah into a Jinx, it's so hard to ever walk up an auto and return because of those rockets. So I think maybe that's why they went so desperate. But the thing is, it's still 2-1 up. And now they get side selection, so there's a lot of work for T1 to do if they want to bring this series back.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Genji from here, they do go into the blue side. Not a big surprise, I'd say. You know, they've been stuck on red side for the first couple of games, or the first 3 games, I guess. And now they get a chance at the other side. Maybe they get their hands on the Gragas again. You know, that reliable hard engage might just push them over the edge to potentially get them in a spot, or at least help them. And maybe Doran not getting caught a couple of times could help them as well.
Yeah, I mean, they probably still have to ban a lot of things, which is like the T1 probably have to ban the any. You know, like there's some champion that they probably try to ban, like Zeri, those kind of type of champion. But the thing is, like, I think Genji do definitely get like more free ban, but we'll see like how the Gragas went.
Yeah, and I think ultimately, I think Jinx was a big comfort for Gumayusi, but if you can force them off their comfortable picks, because the Gragas is another example of those, put them in a situation where they can't play things out so easily, because I'm going to be honest, not to like criticize T1, but that comp they played in Game 3 was like the easiest sort of comp you can play, team fight front to back, which is a great solution when you're 2-0 down. But if they start to push them onto more uncomfortable compositions, develop more strategies to counter, that's where it can become harder. But hopefully, T1 regains some confidence from this win, and that'll serve them out in the series.
We'll have to see if we can actually have the reverse sweep, or can Genji stabilize once again and put an end to the series. But for that, we'll have to go over to the casters for game number 4 and see what they have to say about this game.
Ooh, are you ready for it?
I'm sure we'll have plenty of things to say about it, Valdez. Thank you so much for breaking down that game number 3. Finally, T1 on the board, and we'll see whether they can continue that train running. We want to queue up the track, you know.
That's the joke.
Silver Scrapes. We need to hear it. And in a spring final, it has been a really long time since it hasn't been some of the quickest. Also, last time we were here in the Jumpshell Indoor Stadium, it was T1 completely obliterating Griffin in that moment. It was almost the revenge of those Griffin players not to be the case, as T1 do pick up that game.
And in game number 1 and 2, Genji was able to get comfort. Game number 3, it was T1 that was able to, as Des pointed out, get a composition centered around their currently best performing player by a pretty large margin in Yuma.
Oh, you
and the question is, can they get that same type of power on red side here? We'll expect, that is expecting again that Genji will go for blue side, but with how much priority it gives you over getting some of the best junglers, or in this series case, maybe you want to just B1 Gragas or Cassante and be fine with it.
Yeah, T1 really getting the better read of things here in this
their third game to bring us to a fourth. And reminiscent of that last finals, the Griffin SK Telecom finals, was the finals that Lehens and Viper, two players in our playoffs this season, played the Pantheon Talia and were unable to adapt in that best of 5, or were subsequently crushed. I think T1's adaptation we did see in Game 3 is the kind of thing that you need to do in a best of 5 like this. And how deep does that adaptation go is the question that T1 now has to answer, as they will need to win on Genji's side selection 3 times.
I swear, if T1 lose this split, the podcast tomorrow of I Will Dominate and the who are the Monty Ohm is gonna be
he's been outdone by
a troll show of a life.
On this patch, Red Side has been clawing its way back. It feels like all season. Blue side, blue side, blue side. There was a brief moment in the middle there where there was some Red Side shenanigans, but it has been blue the majority of the time. And we saw in Challenger, Red Side actually selected more often during their playoffs conclusion. And here in this series, so far, Red is 2 victories and 1 loss. Gen.G, they will choose blue as we had confirmed on the desk. But will that mean that now T1 has that ability to utilize Red Side counterpick? You talk about champion oceans,
Gen.G finally
Faker
blue.
is the man with the
Can
largest
Zeus
one
fucking
in
carry?
LCK history. We'll see whether that is going to be the linchpin that they can use, they can wield against Gen.G here, as Lucian, continuing to be banned away, has been banned every single game against Gumayushi.
Classic track as well here
Victor
for the
Gragas
game. Our old champion select musics here at the LCK, as Annie will continue to be banned.
Yeah.
See the Zeri, and I think
Suddenly
these things
a
are
Vi,
going to be constants here. The question becomes now, will FaZe be allowed to play Varus, for example? That could really hurt your chances here as T1 having the lane control that you've been so reliant on, even in those losses for Gumayusi. And they will prefer banning the Wukong. The Varus is up and available.
As is Cassante, as is Gragas. Now, B1 Gragas I'm not expecting, but the Cassante wouldn't surprise me. It's a flex pick. We know how good Gen.G is at utilizing it. And that does mean that T1, I would love it if they actually prioritize picking away. We know how good Faker is at Gragas. Something that he pulled out, and he's still the mid laner that I think looked the best on it.
What about the classic T1, just Jace Gragas? Where are these champions going? We don't know. But no, it's going to be bottom lane focus.
The problem with that is it splits your 80 carry pool on red side. You know, if you grab both of those picks, then your 80 carry is going to be supported.
Oh my god.
And Ari will come through for Faker for the first time here, prioritizing it very highly. This definitely feels like it's going to be Chovy playing the Cassante mid, as this has been an answer to the Ari so much here in our playoffs.
What I do love is that T1 is almost never going to run into Lissandra here, because if Gen.G pick it, you give away who's going where, right? Like right from the get-go, you will be aware of where this Cassante is going, taking away a lot of power as pays.
All right, he's like, oh, Jinx is the best right now, as Gumayushi, of course, smacked him in the previous game. Jinx of Felios. The more we go forward, the further we dip back in time, gentlemen.
And this becomes very complex to play out now as T1. The classic Thresh pick that we expected to see the last time we were seeing this Ahri coming through could be locked in here for T1. You have the Aphelios Thresh, you have the ability for the Ahri to make big plays, but they're going to go back to Horn as well. Lee Sin into Maokai can be quite strong in the early game, but later on, your agency drops massively because Maokai could just root you and prevent you from playing the game. You've got to go through a big front line here. And now the Thresh pick, highly contested between both of these teams. So incredibly strong for both of these 80 carries. The question now becomes, what's going to be the answer here? Because Malphite also, stock is going up big time in this draft.
Obviously. Yeah, I was about to say, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a Kench and a fresh ban wave to ensure that Pace doesn't have the safety that Guma had in the previous game. As good as Jinx is, the reason why it worked was because of all the peel available. Now, still, very beefy front line here. But for T1, might even take that counter pick here.
From being able to go back